let's get into this, shall we? My Los Angeles Rams, they were able to get themselves a juicy victory there. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to another impromptu live stream. I did one earlier this week. I don't even know what day it was on. Was it on a Tuesday? And then I'd asked people in the chat, hey, what's the best idea? When should I stream? Everyone was like, hey, after games. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling good. The Rams picked up a nice, juicy W, only because, of course, Russell Wilson sustained an injury, unfortunately. I don't know exactly how long that's going to last. The fact that he wasn't able to return means that we could be missing Russell Wilson for a little bit. Luckily, we did see Geno Smith at least kind of get some of the fantasy pieces going, right? We ended up seeing some good production out of DK Metcalf there in the fourth quarter, late third. But either way, I'm here. I'm answering questions. What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Got to throw that up on screen again for those of you who are new. Underdog Fantasy. Information down in the description of the video. For those of you, use promo code Andrew if you are interested. Okay, let's go ahead. I got to scroll back to the top here because a couple people were asking questions. Tyler Lockett ripped my heart out and shattered it into a million pieces. Yeah, you know what? My heart shattered as well because I play in 13 leagues, guys. But with that said, I got Tyler Lockett in a couple spots. Him getting that touchdown called back on the holding, it is what it is. We would have loved to have seen that at least score there, but yeah, unfortunate nonetheless. Let's see here. Davis Patterson was saying, should I start Damian Williams over Miles Sanders? Yes, I would start Damian Williams over Miles Sanders, regardless of format. I think Damian Williams is for sure going to get himself PPR work because, of course, he's already proven that this season. And then on top of that, he's going to be in a pretty good, position playing against that Las Vegas Raiders defense that gave up 111 yards to Eckler. But obviously the offensive lines are different and the schemes are different, but ultimately he still will find success. DK got me looking good. Yeah, David, that was a great game by him. I played Robert Woods, bro. He went nutty. Yeah, that's the Robert Woods that we know. Guys, I'm telling you, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the problem, right? Like, it might happen one day that the guys that we actually anticipated to play well show up again. Like, if Allen Robinson has himself a good week this week, are we going to be surprised? No. We're anticipating it. That's why we drafted these guys in the positions that we did. Now, luckily, I think it was a couple days ago, McVay was like, it's my responsibility to get, Robert Woods more implemented into this offense. We have to give him more opportunities. Boy, did he do so, and he delivered on it. It was fantastic. A.J. Brown or Jamison Crowder? Vance, if A.J. Brown's a good to-go player, I'm for sure firing him up, especially if Julio's going to be missing. Yeah. Let's see here. What's up, Andrew? Nothing much, Samir. How you doing? Let's see here. Let's go, baby. DK. Yeah, DK Metcalf. Guys, look, if Ramsey was on him the whole game, okay, there could have been an argument in which we would see DK Metcalf disappear. But even on the plays that we have Ramsey on him, Ramsey's playing 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, and DK, he obviously is playing outside because he's going to let DK Metcalf go back inside to the safety. That's why the skinny post worked on that touchdown, because he's playing outside leverage. Otherwise, he has no help on the outside route and is a bigger, either way. Nonetheless, DK Metcalf's a stud. All right, let me get to this chat. Let's see what's going on here. Bobby Trees, no. Bobby Trees is gone, Anna. To be honest, Bobby Trees is the alter ego. Bobby Trees is the guy that gives us 6 points on a given week. The guy that we saw was Robert Woods, the guy that we actually drafted. Good to see. Okay, so review tonight's game. Matthew Stafford looked like Jared Goff in the first half. Okay, let's just be honest with it. He looked like Jared Goff in the first half. They ran the ball far too often. Darrell Henderson, with as much usage that we saw from Sony Michel, was still able to get himself, 16.9 full PPR points, 16.4 half PPR points. That's a pretty good day. Obviously, we would have expected more, but there was a lot of utilization of Michel there in the first and second half, of course, with that vulture of a touchdown. The receiving core, Cooper Kupp, in terms of overall productivity, obviously, there's a couple plays here and there that he could have made. There's always Stafford kind of, doing some things here and there that's obviously going to be a little bit troubling. But all in all, Cooper Kupp was in a very interesting situation, to say the very least. I think, like I've mentioned in weeks past, he's going to come back down to earth. You can't have a 35% target share and a 47% red zone target share at that, and be able to consistently, produce on a weekly basis at those numbers, right? Everybody comes back down to earth eventually, and this is, back-to-back weeks with Cooper Kupp in which we're finding him, falling back down to earth. Now, with that said, on the other side, wide receivers, DK Metcalf, 98 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 targets, 5 catches. He got lucky. I mean, let's be honest. That Geno Smith touchdown, if that rookie cornerback's not getting picked on, DK Metcalf maybe doesn't score that, but at least gets the first touchdown with Russell Wilson, which is exciting. What is it? Tyler Lockett, 10 targets, 5 catches, 57. Yeah, if that touchdown doesn't get called back, we were in a pretty good spot there. Let's see here. Okay, so let's start answering some questions here. I know NV2435 sent in a donation. It says, I have Devontae Ridley, Deontay Hollywood. Should I accept an offer for Deontay for Kyler? I got Herbert. No. If you got Herbert, there's no reason in potentially sacrificing the depth of your lineup for that quarterback, unless you really do think that Kyler is, far and away, better. At this point, I think with Ridley missing this week, missing next week due to bye, you're going to need the wide receiver depth in order to kind of give yourself a better chance of winning these weeks. And you have to win now before you get, into the second half of the season. And there are more bye weeks to have to deal with and more situations in which, whether it is injuries or byes that are going to be against you, and you don't want to be up against it later on. Okay. Billington Bosman sends in a question, says, A.J. Brown or Damian Williams in the flex PPR? If, in fact, we can get confirmation that, in fact, A.J. Brown will be practicing in full tomorrow, and on top of that, fully playing this upcoming week with no Julio Jones in the lineup, which is pretty much exactly what it's looking like, I would go A.J. Brown over Damian Williams. Okay, let's see this chat here. Aiden Chamberlain says, Damian Williams or Chubb this week? We're playing Chubb. What are we talking about? It's the Los Angeles Chargers run defense. They're one of the worst in the National Football League in doing so. I know the Raiders weren't able to take advantage of it, mainly because the Raiders in the first quarter didn't have a single yard of offense, didn't have a single first down in the first half. So ultimately, they couldn't run the ball in the second half with Jacobs, but Jacobs did look good either way. But that said, you're playing Chubb. Let's see here. Evan sends in a question, says, should I trade Kittle and Lockett for Najee and Gronk? Kittle and Lockett for Najee Harris and Gronk. The Gronk part is worrisome because I don't know what his current status is in terms of his return to action. But anytime that I hear Najee Harris in a trade in which I'm giving Lockett and Kittle, I'm very enticed, and I'm almost I'm willing to go for it. If Gronk is going to come back out, if you're saying you have wide receivers up the if you have wide receivers up the yang, then you might as well just go ahead and shell for Najee Harris. I think it's a great idea. Antonio Brown or Hollywood Brown this week? I'm going Hollywood Brown. They're cousins, but I'll go Hollywood either way. That offense looks pretty good with him over there. A couple more donations sent in. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's hear. Tony K says, start Fournette or Devonta Smith full PPR? Fournette, 100%. It's an easy play in my opinion, mainly because, like I talked about earlier this week, Fournette is in probably one of, if not the best matchup at the running back position playing against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins this season, in the 4 games that they've played, 100 yards of Damian Harris, 82 yards and a touchdown to Singletary. They gave up 111 yards to Peyton Barber and 103 yards to Jonathan Taylor, all on the ground. This isn't even talking about the receiving work that a respective running back could get up against them. And we all know that Leonard Fournette is always going to get himself a couple peppered targets here and there for the full PPR work. So yeah, it's Fournette there, Tony K. Thank you. Kent sends in a question, says, got to drop one for a kicker. 3 wide receiver in a flex league, full PPR. We have Gaskin, Singletary, Rondell Moore, Kadarius Toney, Gainwell Hubbard. Used remaining fab. Okay. Remaining fab. Okay. So if we're dropping one out of this group of players, I don't want to drop. I think, okay, so here's my suggestion, Kent. You are not going to pick up a kicker until Saturday afternoon, maybe even Sunday morning. That's my suggestion. You're going to wait, and we're going to see exactly what the status of Sterling Shepard is this week. If Sterling Shepard is going to be involved and or active this week, then I think we can go ahead and drop Toney, because I don't want to drop Gaskin just yet. I just want to see a couple more weeks. If all else fails, so be it. You know what? He'll be dropped down in the future. But for now, I think that's the plan of action. Revorg Z sent in a dono, but there wasn't a question next to it. Let me see if I can find Revorg's question here. Anything here, Revorg? Let's see. Davis or Emmanuel Sanders? That's a good question. If you're playing in a half PPR, let me think here. If you're playing in a half PPR, I'm probably thinking that Davis is a decent play in that scenario. But in terms of, I think in terms of upside, and I'm assuming this is going to be your flex position, I think I'm more enticed with the potential of going with an Emmanuel Sanders, especially if you're in a full PPR. It's an automatic in my eyes. But yeah, like without Calvin Ridley, maybe they move Cordero Patterson out to receiver. But even then, I don't think that's going to be the case. So I'm leaning towards Emmanuel Sanders right now. You know, there just hasn't been enough done from Mike Davis to give me the confidence as of right now. Let's see here. All right. Vance Walker says, my lineup is Aaron Rodgers, okay, Saquon, Chubb, Devontae, A.J. Brown, Dawson Knox, Damian Williams, Justin Tucker. Thoughts? Thoughts? In all honesty, your entire league, this is my legitimate thoughts, okay? Vance, is my 100% legitimate thoughts. You have a great team. Up and down the board, anybody would love to have that team. Obviously, you play in a smaller league with not as many teams, and that is why you're able to accumulate so much talent on said team. But with that said, it's a matter of whether or not your studs are just better than other players' studs. Because there are so many, great players on your roster, very seldom will you feel the urge to play guys that are on the fringe of having high upside, very volatile games. And oftentimes, playing studs like a Chubb on a given week or an A.J. Brown on another week could burn you in comparison to the rest of the facts. So it's just a matter of, are your studs better than the other teams? And it's less of a skillful game, but I think you're in a pretty good spot considering how much talent you had overall. Andrew Pacina says, Ridley is out. That is correct. Do I start Cooks, Sanders, or Crowder as my wide receiver 2? I don't mind Brandon Cooks, but here's the thing that worries me, guys. Brandon Cooks, and specifically Davis Mills, plays against Bill Belichick. Do we all forget what Bill Belichick does to rookie quarterbacks? Did we all forget? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Davis Mills throw 4 interceptions last week? Let me just, give me a moment, everyone. Davis Mills. Let's go ahead and see what he did last week. He was 11 for 21 passing, 87 passing yards, and 4 interceptions. You're telling me that Davis Mills is going to be able to get enough value for Brandon Cooks this week against Bill Belichick? That's why you didn't see Brandon Cooks in my video. That's why you didn't see it, because why would I do that to myself? I don't want to subject myself to that. Sure, there's always the potential of that lucky play or, a couple receptions here and there on a busted coverage. That is always going to be a thing that, fantasy football and football is going to entail. But with that said, listen, if it's between those players, Brandon Cooks, Emmanuel Sanders, and Crowder, in a full PPR, I'm leaning towards Emmanuel Sanders or Crowder. At this moment, in a full PPR, let me go find my rankings. I did update them today for Patreon. Let me just confirm. I'm relatively certain that I have Emmanuel Sanders just barely ahead, maybe even behind. Crowder, actually, let's go here. Full PPR. Crowder's there. No, I have Emmanuel. Nope. Yeah. Okay. I have Crowder ahead of him. So I'm playing Crowder in that scenario. All right. Thank you very much, Andrew. All right. Logan Gibson, thank you very much for the donation. Says Kareem, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, pick for the flex, full PPR. Missed my super chat, my first super chat. Love the dedication. Where did you send one today? Let me see here, Logan. Did you send one today, or was it another day, Logan? Either way, just to answer your question first and foremost, if in fact, look, my current answer is Kareem Hunt. If in fact we see Amari Cooper is not playing this week against the Giants and he is out, I would pivot to playing CeeDee Lamb. I think he'd just have more opportunity in that scenario, and that's something that I'm interested in potentially getting an advantage of. So for right now, Kareem Hunt, and then if in fact we get to a position where Amari's out, then we go CeeDee. Thank you. Michael says, finally, Andy, Robert Woods, finally, my God. Explosion, bomb, fire, explosion, bomb. Thank you very much. Yeah, listen, it took long enough, and if you suffered along with me, then that's fine. But this is just 1 week. We can't blow this out of proportion. Like it's 1 week. We'll figure out how it kind of persists as we approach the next coming games. I think week 6, Matthew Stafford plays against the Detroit Lions. I'm sure Robert Woods will get some work there, but either way. NBA GOAT says, thoughts on AJ Green? Greetings from Mexico. Hello. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thoughts on AJ Brown, excuse me. I don't know why I misspoke there. AJ Brown, you know why I misspoke there? Because AJ Brown, AJ in a color, AJ Green in a color. Has anybody ever pointed that out? Has anybody ever, misspoke that? Anyway, regardless, to give you some context, I just want to go and confirm something real quick. Let me just type this up. So if we go ahead and let's see what the practice report entailed AJ Brown's status this week. AJ Brown. Okay, so according to the practice report, he practiced again on Thursday with the hamstring injury, was sidelined. Okay, Julio's been sidelined. Okay. I mean, look, if he ends up playing this week, we'll be happy with it. If he doesn't, no problem. I'm all in on AJ Brown going forward. If you have the ability to trade for him, I'm going for that. As for this week specifically, he plays Jacksonville. I mean, how much easier can he possibly get? Let's see here. Miles Diaz says, I just traded Debo and Marquise Brown for AJ Brown and Mixon. Thoughts? I'll take it. Anytime you're able to get a top running back like that, I'll take it any day of the week. And personally, I think rest of season, AJ Brown is a better receiver than Debo Samuel. That's a fantastic trade across the board there, Miles. You're able to dump off receivers that have been scoring a lot, but mainly because of the touchdown upside. And now you're going to get guys that are going to, as those guys fade out and those touchdowns start to disappear, the studs of who we thought should have been the top guys by now, they'll begin to emerge. John H. says, Latavius Murray or Antonio Brown, half PPR. Latavius Murray is not a guy I want to play unless the other option is someone that is going to score less than 10 points on a weekly basis. I don't see Antonio Brown being that situation, considering, of course, if I'm not mistaken, the last time Antonio Brown and Tom Brady played against the Miami Dolphins, they actually connected for a touchdown. That's irrelevant, right? Because that was a couple years back. But what I'm trying to say is, like, Latavius Murray and Antonio Brown. Antonio is going to surpass 10 points. Latavius Murray is going to need a miracle and then some in order to get more than 10 points this upcoming week. Because, yes, he might get a touchdown to 40 yards, but that's pretty much what his limit is on a weekly basis. And then your second question was, got Pitts for Chuba? Big ups. Yeah, that's great. Holy moly, that's great. Marles Barkley says, start Mike Davis or Michael Carter. As my RB2, I have Edmonds as my RB1. Okay, Edmonds is great there. I think your RB2 specifically should be Mike Davis. I think there's more upside in that play, specifically because, yes, Michael Carter was able to get work, but even in a very enticing matchup against a defense like the Tennessee Titans, was still only able to get himself 13 carries for 34 yards. He's got saved by a touchdown. I think Mike Davis just gets more work this week, as Cordero Patterson's most likely going to be, kind of moved around the entire offensive scheme. Let's see here. Okay. Steven Shook said, PPR Cordero Patterson or AJ Brown in the flex. I'm going to play AJ Brown if he's healthy. I would play AJ Brown if he's healthy. Let's see here. Coogan says, Deontay Johnson or AJ Brown in a standard PPR. Okay. You don't even have to say standard. Just say PPR and you're chilling. I'd play Deontay Johnson there. Thank you. Let's see here. Michael Reeves says 8-team, 2-quarterback Superflex league. Okay, this is very interesting. My favorite, Superflex. I'm 4-0. Any ideas for trades? Okay, cool. That can make my team better. We have Herbert, Cousins, great, awesome, and then we have Carr. All right, great. Your quarterback trio's pretty solid. Chubb, Taylor, Mixon, Monty. Okay. Hill, Diggs, Lockett, Higgins, Woods, Marvin Jones Jr., and Emmanuel Sanders. All right. So, Michael, I'm going to say that you didn't mention your tight end for a reason because your tight end's probably not great. So my suggestion would be to go ahead and look to trade for a tight end. You're not going to be able to start Hill, Diggs, Lockett, Higgins, and Woods every single week. So probably move some of those guys. Maybe go sell high on a Robert Woods, even though like selling high doesn't really mean anything because he will have great production rest of the season. But I'm just saying like maybe you can trade up and get a player that you typically wouldn't be able to at this point and try to go get a tight end, because I'm assuming the lack of a mention there is the reason why maybe in fact you don't have a great one. Zach Thomas says pick 2, half PPR, Ja'Marr Chase, Chris Godwin, or Keenan Allen. Ja'Marr Chase, Chris Godwin, Keenan Allen. At this moment, I'm going Keenan Allen and Chris Godwin. Basically just how I had it in my rankings video. I know Jair Alexander's most likely out, and that does bode well for a Ja'Marr Chase, especially if they put Kevin King on him. I don't know how many Packers fans we have in here, but King is just a terrible cornerback. He's mainly the reason why they lost that NFC Championship game last year, because he let Scotty Miller go for a 50-yard touchdown at the end of the first half. But I digress. That being said, Godwin and Allen are my suggestions in that scenario. Imani Jones says, should I trade Mike Williams for DK Metcalf? I would say yes. Conventional wisdom says yes. My only question is, how long do we not have Russell Wilson for? That's the only question I'm thinking of. I'm not a doctor. I mean, there are fantasy doctors out here that report on these things. I don't know what the exact diagnosis or what the potential of that injury could entail in terms of long-term effects down the season. I don't know what it's going to require in order to get him back full and when that's going to be. So I guess that's just a matter of, if we can get Russell Wilson back sooner rather than later, then yes, I'm good with that. Going for DK. Posters says, I currently have Tony, okay, but I need another end of my bench wide receiver. Currently have waiver requests on Robbie Anderson and Curtis Samuel. Thoughts on who I should take? I personally would go after Robbie Anderson. Curtis Samuel is in a tricky situation because, again, I think it'll take a little while for him to find his footing. He was out on the IR for a while there with the groin injury, so it should take him a little bit. What's up, Vincent? How's it going? So at this point, most likely just going to go with the safer commodity in Robbie Anderson, even with McCaffrey returning. I mean, he saw 11 targets last week. If that can persist in any sort of capacity going forward, we could end up getting, back the Robbie Anderson that we saw last year. Where are we at here? Ballaholic sent in a dono. I appreciate that, but I didn't see a message attached to it. Pick 3 to start the week. PPR: Thielen, Allen, Swift, Patterson. Ooh, that's a good question. Full PPR. All right, let's go look at my rankings here. Full PPR. I mean, it is early, guys, but hey, you know what? Let's see here. So Allen's for sure getting the start. It's a matter of whether or not Patterson and or it's Thielen and Patterson. Yeah, that's the biggest question mark here. So where is Thielen in these rankings? We have Cordero Patterson there, and then we have Thielen there. Yeah, okay. So in this specific scenario, though it may sound crazy, I am playing Keenan Allen, I am playing Adam Thielen, and I am playing DeAndre Swift. And I'm leaving Patterson on the bench. I mean, even with the Calvin Ridley missing, it's tough to think that Patterson could probably score multiple touchdowns again in a given week. He's always, going to get his accustomed, 5-6 catches for 60 yards. It's just a matter of the potential upside in comparison to these other guys. Let's hear. Andrew he says, Miles Sanders, Zach Moss, or Damian Harris is my RB2. Damian Harris. Thank you very much. The Houston run defense is awful, so they're going to run all over them. JK says, who do I start in my flex? We have Gibson, Waddle, Antonio Brown, Damian Williams. Okay. As for the flex in this scenario, if we're playing in a half PPR scoring format, I'm most likely playing. Do I have Gibson ahead of him? I know I adjusted my rankings in the last couple of days. Where do I have Damian? Yeah, I have Gibson still ahead of him. I'm going to play Gibson in that scenario. As for just played Wilson and Henderson tonight. My opponent played Lockett. Okay, well, Wilson's unfortunate because he only got about 9 points. It's rough. But I still think that it's either between Gibson and or Williams in that scenario in a half PPR. Let's see. Trunk. Well, actually, no. It'd probably be AB and Gibson, but I'd still go with Gibson. Trunks says Patterson or Najee Harris. I'm playing Najee Harris. I started Collins at the flex, non-PPR. Yeah, the Collins play wasn't. I mean, look, we have to just be careful because on a short week, Collins could have played well, but I mean, it's tough. Typically, I don't like picking up backups and immediately throwing them in. There's a reason why I'm like pretty low on Samaje Perine this week because they don't typically like immediately find success. But that being said, in terms of your question, I'm still playing Najee Harris. Antonio says Latavius Murray or Gainwell, Pitts or Schultz. I'm playing Schultz. Go check out my tight end video. I have my top 16 rankings there. And as for Latavius Murray or Gainwell plays against Carolina. I mean, there's a chance that he plays well, but I'd rather just go with the safety of Latavius Murray versus the Indianapolis Colts. Thank you very much. Steven says, traded Antonio Brown and Barkley for Diggs and Hunt. I don't like that. Sorry. Also traded Pittman for Madison for when Cook gets back. Wait, I'm sorry. You traded Antonio Brown and Barkley for Diggs and Hunt? Yeah, I can't live with that. Barkley's, no, I just can't. But hey, I hope it pans out, my guy. Ultimately, hopefully that wide receiver depth that Diggs kind of presents to your team can give you what you need potentially when in fact Dalvin Cook is back. Even if he's not back, Alexander Mattison this week is a top 10 running back, guys. If Cook is out, especially against Detroit. Jacob says Najee Harris, Damian Harris, Jonathan Taylor. Who are you benching this week? I am benching Harris, but specifically Damian Harris. I'm playing Najee Harris, and I'm playing Jonathan Taylor. Tom Matthews says PPR Godwin or Kareem Hunt. Okay, that's a good question. And then at the flex, and it says RB1 and 2 are Cook and Edmonds. Okay, so this is what I'm going to say, Tom. I don't expect Dalvin Cook to play. So you're going to play Hunt as your RB, and you're going to play Godwin as your flex. And how do I know Dalvin Cook is most likely not going to play? Because he didn't practice again today. He rushed his injury. He came back too early, and he's probably going to miss another week here. So if, in fact, you get to a position where, hey, actually, in fact, Cook does play, then you could play Godwin at your flex. But ultimately, I don't think he's going to play. So you're just going to have to use both these guys, which, again, you have good depth. So you're good to go. Michael sends in a question. Sorry, Andy. I had to get out my emotions with Woods earlier. We also had DK tonight. All right, nice. Holy moly. That's a pretty good way to start the week, huh? In week 5. And still have Diggs and, unfortunately, Allen Robinson in a PPR. Yeah, hey, listen. For as much time we gave Robert Woods, at least Robert Woods was able to kind of show some signs of life. Like week 1, scored a touchdown. Week 3, scored a touchdown. And then week 4, scored a touchdown. So at least in 2 of the 4 games that he had produced, he was okay, right? And then finally had a breakout game. Allen Robinson has shown no signs of life. His quarterback is a rookie that has, very little potential unless, they somehow change the entire offensive scheme. So we'll see how it kind of presents itself going forward. Najee in the chat was saying, I know you've probably been asked this a lot, but what are the odds that Cook plays this weekend? I think it's unlikely. Like legitimately, I do think it's unlikely. If you are a Madison, manager and you have Cook, good on you. You've protected your investment overall. But if in fact you don't, and you're in a situation where you're most likely going to have to maybe end up playing another running back and sitting Dalvin Cook, unfortunately. All right, so the report as of today says Dalvin Cook ankle, missed another practice on Thursday for the second consecutive day. It is almost deja vu from week 3. This is on NBC Sports Edge and their beat writers. It says, given that Cook aggravated his ankle against the Browns, it would make a lot more sense if they gave him the week off, especially considering they play against the Detroit Lions and let Alexander Mattison get to work against them. That makes sense. And again, he hasn't practiced in 2 consecutive days. I doubt they're going to make this man practice on Friday and fire him up against Detroit of all defenses, right? So I think it's very unlikely, Najee. Let's see here. Devin sent in a question. Says, need one full PPR. Damian Williams, Golladay, Corey Davis, Devonta Smith, or Sutton. Out of that group of players, I feel the most confidence in Corey Davis against Atlanta. And then if I had to follow that up with a player, it would most likely either be Devonta Smith it'd probably be Devonta Smith, and that's or maybe Kenny G. But Corey Davis for sure is my number 1 there, Devin. Michael Amato says, pick 2 running backs PPR: Davis, Mitchell, Sermon, Singletary, P. Ryan, or Dillon. Davis is playing in this scenario, and probably so is Sermon. But if Mitchell's active, I'm less likely to feel confident about the situation and maybe pivot to Singletary. Jacobo says AJ Green, James Conner, half PPR. AJ Green versus James Conner and a half PPR. I'm trying to think, like, San Francisco, they got a pretty good team, but both these guys are scoring touchdowns on consecutive weeks. Is there a good chance that James Conner falls into the end zone once again this week? I mean, I think that it's most likely the case, but if he doesn't, he's more likely to burn you in that game. Like, ultimately, like, AJ Green's at least able to get more yardage and get some work off of the receptions. Let me even just see what I even have them ranked as, because that's a really good question. What do we have Connor? So Connor in my flex is, where the heck are you, Connor? Do I have to control 3 function? Connor. Oh no, actually I need to control F, not F3 function. Let's close that. Control F. We look up James Conner. So we have James Conner there, and then where do I think I may have? Yeah, I have AJ Green ahead of him. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm going AJ Green there. What am I looking at now? Okay. Thank you, Jacobo. Kai Tom says Madison, Gibson, Cordero Patterson, and Sutton. PPR flex. Assuming Dalvin Cook's out, I'm playing Alexander Madison. If he's not, I'm playing Cordero Patterson. So Madison if Cook is out, Patterson if he's not. Okay, cool. Thank you. Rocket says, standard league, I just traded Knox and got Mixon. That's disgusting. You are a swindler, and you should honestly go to jail for that. I mean, that's just who in your league is determining the veto system, because that's armed robbery at this point. What are we doing? Oh my God, congrats, Rocket. That's awesome. UT Gustavo says, go Longhorns? Okay, interesting. Thoughts? He didn't say that, but anyway. Thoughts on Tannehill for the rest of the season? 2 QB league. I have him and Heineke. I mean, at this point, if you have him and Heineke and you don't have anybody else, you're potentially playing in a 10 or 12 team league. You're going to have to fire him up. Hopefully, when his receivers come back, he's going to look far better than he has in weeks past. I think that's most likely going to be the case. So I'm okay with him. Is he a top half of the league quarterback? That's what in all honesty, where I have him ranked this week is like number 17 or 18 at quarterback. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. I can actually go check. So right now, let me scroll here. As I look at this, I have Ryan Tannehill as my number 17 overall quarterback going into this week. So he just barely missed the list. I don't mind him going forward. That's all I'm going to say. It's just a matter of whether his receiving threats come back and whether they're of the health to help him out. Let's see here. What do we got? See, Miles says traded Julio and Sanders for Mixon and Rondell Moore. I'll take that. Is that you know what? Hold on, let me think about this. Is that Miles Sanders? Even if it is, you know what? I'll take that. Because if you didn't need Julio that bad and you have other guys, I'm okay with getting Mixon in this scenario. Because I think Mixon rest of the season is a pretty good option. TanFam says, flex Jacob or Madison if Cook is out. If Cook is out, I'm playing Madison. It's not even close. Guys, I'm just straight up, just so we're all on the same page, just like pure transparency. As of this current moment in time, as of today's rankings that I posted on Patreon, I currently have Alexander Madison as my RB9 in both half and full PPR scoring formats. Okay? If, in fact, because I do assume Cook is going to be out, I am playing him just about over anybody except for the studs. Like the studs that you drafted in your first 2 rounds, or majority of them. Not Taylor, not Gibson. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about, obviously the McCaffrey, Henry, Zeke, Kamara, Najee Harris, Ezekiel Elliott, Aaron Jones. I'm talking about those guys. I'm playing those guys ahead of them, but I'm playing him at number 9. Okay, cool. Thank you. So, plan accordingly. Let's see here what we got. All right, cool. So, Little Boy Blue sent in a dono, but there wasn't anything attached to it, huh? So let's see if I can. Okay, Little Boy Blue traded Mark Andrews for DeAndre Swift. How do you guys get these trades? I'm not kidding. How? Saquon, Najee, Swift, but Ertz is my tight end. I don't care that Swift is your tight end going forward. That Ertz is your tight end going forward. You are in a fantastic position. Holy crap. I don't know how, listen, I'm going to be totally, like, when I try to go trade in my leagues, guess what happens, guys? Anytime I go asking for a trade, even if I'm losing in the trade, I'm getting declined because, we can't let Andrew get a better team than us because he's already going to win the league. Blah, blah. I can't get these trades. If I legitimately tried to go trade Mark Andrews for DeAndre Swift, that would be vetoed by every league. I mean, even if there wasn't a veto system, it would be vetoed somehow. Anyway, congrats. That's a great play. Let's see here. Michael says, Knox or Conklin? PPR, Knox. Panthers D, rebound versus Eagles? Yeah, they should. But, I mean, Hurts is hard to bottle up there. I'll tell you that much. It's Newski says, Juju, Ayuk, Gainwell, Khalif Raymond. I mean, at this point, what's the safest overall play? Most likely Juju Smith-Schuster. Is that even a safe play with Claypool potentially coming back? I don't think so. I think you might find some success there, but this entire Pittsburgh offense, except for Deontay Johnson and Najee Harris, is just something I don't want to touch right now. So I probably lean in the direction of, is Khalif Raymond that guy right now? I want to actually just look at his target share, and then I want to see his snap counts real quick. Khalif Raymond, in the last 2 weeks, 18 points and 9 points, 16 targets in the last 2 weeks. They play against Minnesota. I don't have a problem against Minnesota's secondary. Let me look at their snap counts here. Detroit Lions. Khalif Raymond's playing 75% of the snaps in the last 2 weeks in comparison to Cephas at 71-87, but he's on the field for the majority of the game. They're playing 3 wide receivers sets 75% of the time. That makes sense because it is game script. They love a lot of 11 personnel with 1 tight end, 1 back. As of right now, I'm going to say Ayuk, or maybe even Juju, but I want to play Khalif Raymond maybe. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Khalif Raymond. It's kind of crazy to do it because typically, like, conventional wisdom's like, play Juju because he's Juju, but maybe we get a little cute with it and try to get some sneaky points. Ozzy says, and I quote, just took this trade. I was offered Kupp, Devin Singletary, and for Ezekiel Elliott and Ridley. What? I was offered, this is what you said. I was offered Kupp, Devin Singletary for Ezekiel Elliott and Ridley. So did you give Kupp and Singletary? Because the way you made it sound via your message is that you gave away Ezekiel Elliott and Ridley. And if you did, I will throw up right now. So please don't tell me that's the case. You say still have Henderson and Taylor. Oh, so that means you did trade Ezekiel Elliott. Can we have a moment of silence for Ozzy's team? Thank you. Holy moly. Yeah, you know what? Tom makes a good point. There are 400 of us in here, and we only have 84 likes, guys. What are we doing, huh? What are we doing? Smash the like button. Does me a lot of favors. Helps grow the channel. For those of you who are new here, and you haven't already, subscribe. Also, on top of that, for those of you trying to play fantasy football all the time, Underdog Fantasy, you go down to the description, find the link there, use promo code Andrew with your first deposit of $10 or more. You get extra $10 of bonus cash. Earlier today, I ran a couple prop bets. I was lucky enough to where Russell Wilson did not play for majority of that game, and a lot of the unders that I rolled there, because I did have him as a lower ranked quarterback. I had him on my number 13, so I wanted to kind of roll him a little bit lower. I hope he's healthy, but he did me a favor earlier today. Let me see here. So after we RIP'd Ozzy's team, Calvin75 says 10-team full PPR. A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, Hunt. I'm playing Keenan Allen there. Thank you. Jared White says, got offered Waddle for Van Jefferson. I'll take it. I'll take Waddle. Let's see here. Braden Hanna says, start one. You know what's funny? I know someone named Brandon Hanna. But this is Braden. Interesting. Anyway, start one for sure. start with second if Christian McCaffrey. Okay, cool. If Christian McCaffrey's out, Corey Davis, Allen Robinson, Emmanuel Sanders. So Corey Davis is the guy that I'm starting without a doubt in my mind. As for the person that I'm starting, if in fact Christian McCaffrey's out, I'm going with Emmanuel Sanders because I need to see Allen Robinson produce before I can throw him in my lineup and risk it. Thank you very much. Trunks says, Team 1, Mahomes, Lockett, CD, Kamara, Najee, Fant, Collins, holy moly, Zerline, and Buda Baker. Damn, you play with an IDP and you have Tampa defense. Okay, interesting. I don't like IDP leagues, guys, but hey, listen, teach their own. If it's fun, it's fun. That's all. That's all fantasy football is meant to be. Dak DK is the second team with Cooper. What is that? Who else is that on that team? King, Henry. Okay. Sorry, I got cut off. Swift, Gesicki, Chase, Carolina, and Devin White. Do I have a chance? I'm team 1. DK already popped off. You have King, Henry, and Swift down the barrel this week. You have Lockett that didn't perform well. Do you have a chance? Yes. What does it require? I mean, you need Mahomes and CD. I mean, you need 18 points from literally everyone on your team. I'm gonna be just completely frank. You need 18s across the board. Is it possible? Sure, it is. But it's gonna be tough with the already, disadvantageous start to the week. David Fast sends in a donation, but there wasn't a message attached, so I'm gonna go ahead and control function here and see if I can find it here, David. It says 12-team standard league. I have 2 tight ends on the roster required, okay, and no IR slots. That needs to be changed, David. Make sure you tell your commissioner next year, could we get some IR spots? At least 2 of them minimum. I have Tonyan and Logan Thomas. Okay, so both those guys are relevant. You can drop them both. Waivers. Uzama, Max Williams, Ingram, Jonnu Smith, Mo Ali Cox, ride Tonyan and sit Thomas, or drop Thomas for mediocrity. Look, Thomas is on the injured reserve, so if you can survive with him on your bench, especially with the bye weeks to come, then you could maybe keep him. But when I look at this specifically, who do I believe in rest of season more? I think your best options are most likely gonna be, when I suggest this week, it's completely different than rest of season. Because I look at rest of season and I think to myself, most likely Jonnu Smith and Evan Ingram are the best options. But going into this week, I think it might even be Mo Ali Cox and Max Williams that are the better plays, in all honesty. So that's what I'm going to suggest at this point. Find Your Peace. Thank you very much. Says, hey, man, love the show. Thank you. I'm 4-0, bad run with a good team. Damn. It says, do I wait out the storm for breakouts or make trades? I sent out screenshots on Twitter. Please look, I'm desperate. All right, are you the same name on Twitter? Because I'll look it up right now. Dude, guys, I'm going to be honest. If you've sent something to my Twitter, there is, I don't look at Twitter often. You guys know I don't have much activity there, nonetheless. But holy moly, I get bombarded at times. Like there are just thousands of DMs in here. And if I had the time to answer them all, I trust me, I would, but I just don't. Let's see here. I'm gonna look up Find Your Peace and see, or unless did you tweet me? Sent you screenshots on Twitter. Yep. Okay. So this is you. Okay. So because there's nobody else that sent me screenshots. Jackson, Jones, Gibson, Godwin, Jamar Chase, Knox, Marvin Jones, Woods, Tyler Boyd, Hurts, and then you got Rams defense, and then you got Carl's. How do you... Okay, here's the thing. You've got a really good team. It's really hard to pivot because, in all honesty, unless you're going to I got to go for it all and just trade, 2 wide receivers just to try to hope that you can get DeAndre Hopkins, and once you get him, he has great games. But wide receivers are so inconsistent in fantasy, and there's so much volatility that there's no guarantee that you're going to trade for one he's going to have a pop-off game. So, I look at that team and I think, how are you 4-0? But then I also think some of those guys had really inconsistent weeks, and you may have also played players in your league where they had the best week of their season. I'm holding unless you think you can actually go and improve it significantly more, because I have a hard time thinking that you can incredibly improve Gibson or Aaron Jones. Maybe you can go get DeAndre Swift instead of Gibson, but Those wide receivers are studs. The tight end is, Knox scoring touchdowns every week. You had Lamar Jackson and Hurts. Like, holy moly. Maybe go trade Hurts and see what you can get for him. Work for what you want. Gaming says half PPR. Would you take Kamara, Hollywood Brown, Hawkinson for Mixon, Amari Cooper, Kittle, and Moss? I'm giving away Mixon, Amari, Kittle, and Moss, and I'm getting back Kamara, Hollywood, and Hawkinson. Yeah, I'll take it. At this point, I'll take it. I think Hawkinson has more upside than Kittle rest of the season. I think Kamara has more upside than Mixon by a mile. And though Hollywood technically is a little bit lower in terms of the totem pole of Amari Cooper, even though he's been outproducing him as of late, I still think it's a great trade. I also have Dak, Christian McCaffrey, Damian Harris. Sheesh. Okay. And you got Madison, Connor, Woods, Ruggs, Renfro. Take a chance for Christian McCaffrey plus Kamara. It's not a chance. I think you're in a good spot here to make that trade. Bryce says, what's up, Andrew? Your Rams beat my Seahawks. Listen, my Rams didn't beat nobody. The Seahawks had an unfortunate injury, and that's why you guys lost. In all honesty, because my Rams looked like garbage in the first half. They may have came out and looked good in the second half, is because blocked punts, mistakes, interception, things like that, not having Russell Wilson out there, not having extended drives to keep our defense on the field and keep them tired, obviously leads to us being able to just take over and at least find some success offensively because we have pieces. But no, honestly, I think that's a Seahawks game to win if in fact Russell Wilson doesn't go down there. But the second part of your question, should I trust McCaffrey if he gets on the field this week over Gibson and Hubbard? Yes, I would. Okay, just to kind of give you guys, everybody context. Okay, so we're going to do this again. Earlier in this episode, really quickly. Earlier today, I said there's 400 of you in here and we only have 84 likes, and it only went up by 90. Let's go ahead and get that past 200, please. Please. I mean, come on, what are we doing? Okay, so context. I did say that if Alexander Mattison plays and Cook is out, Alexander Mattison is my number 9 running back on the week. Okay, context, we're all on the same page. Cool. Now, if Christian McCaffrey plays, the reason why I feel 1,000% confident going with him this coming week is because last season, there were multiple weeks in which he was healthy and ready to get back, but Matt Rule, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, made it a specific objective to not push him back because they were on a losing streak and they didn't need to get him back into the lineup. So, with that being said, they're currently what? Are they undefeated? No, so they're 3-1. They lost to Dallas last week. They're in a pretty good position already. There is no reason to force him back this week. Matt Rule is very good in terms of being able to let their players rest and not force them back like Mike Zimmer and Dalvin Cook. So with that said, if he plays, that means he's full go and that the coaches trust it going forward. So I'd be comfortable with it. I saw something in the chat. Hey, Andrew, great video again. Can you please help me decide Daniel Jones, Heineke, or Tannehill this week? In all honesty, I have Heineke, Daniel Jones, and Tannehill back-to-back in that exact order. Literally in that exact order. As for who has the safest and or toughest, it's all subjective. I think technically, based on what we've seen this year, the New Orleans Saints are probably the toughest defense there, though I have Heineke ranked the highest. While on the other side of the spectrum, we have Jacksonville and we have Dallas that have been horrible. If you want to go ahead and play the matchup game, then you can go for a Daniel Jones. And then if you can potentially find that A.J. Brown's healthy, then we can go with Tannehill. But there's a higher likelihood of me thinking that Tannehill could get his touches taken from Henry, touchdowns being siphoned. So I'd rather go with a Daniel Jones or a Heineke there. But yeah, you have to just play it by matchup or, who has the hot hand. But both of them have played relatively well as of late. Thanks for sending that in via the chat. Knox or Schultz, full PPR. Gallo, I mean, listen, I put up my video earlier today just so everyone's aware. Another update. I posted my tight end and quarterback rankings all in the same video. So it's my week 5 quarterback and tight end rankings video. First half starts with quarterback, second half has the tight end. So I do have Schultz ahead of Knox, but Schultz is my number 5 tight end, and Knox is my number 6. Yo, what's up, dude? LaShawn McCoy, what's up? Good name. Let's see here. The all-decade running back, LaShawn McCoy, the guy that used to carry my fantasy teams, whether he was an Eagle or a Buffalo Bill. My God, what a stud. Anyway, Oscar Garcia says, going against the first place team in my league, should I go for Patterson or Gibson? If you're in a full PPR, I'm comfortable going Patterson there. And which two wide receivers out of Mike Williams, Godwin, Deontay Johnson, and Chase? Out of those players, Mike Williams, I like him, but okay, so Deontay Johnson's the automatic there. So let's go Patterson, Deontay. Out of Mike Williams versus Godwin, I mean, I feel like they're just so closely ranked. I'm going to go Godwin there, but it is really close. You got really good wide receivers. My goodness. Why can't we start them all, huh? Let's see here. C. Miles says, how do you feel about trading Pittman and Collins for Devonta Smith? Yep, I would have already done it. Well, actually, let me think about it. If, in fact, Carson is legitimately going to be out for an extended period of time, we can't trust trading away Alex Collins. So I guess it's a matter of, like, let's wait and see what exactly the injury situation is. I know he's got a herniated disc in his neck. That's horrible. So we could end up seeing Carson miss a long, an extended period of time. If you go back to last season, any backup that filled in for Chris Carson was averaging like 12 points per game in fantasy. So it's a systematic deal with those running backs. And also, how do you feel about Pitts with Ridley out and Gage out? I mean, Gage has been out for a couple weeks. Ridley with his presence has practically been out, considering he hasn't scored us touchdowns. Like, what has he been doing, right? But no, I mean, listen, he got 9 targets last week specifically. That's Pitts, got 9 targets. If that number goes up at all, we're going to have a pretty good game there. I have him on my number 10 tight end this week, or number 8, excuse me, number 9. I'm at number 9. In a full PPR, he's got obviously more value because the touchdown upside is not there, but I don't mind him. I mean, if that's the only guy you got anyway, you got to start him. Unless you got Knox and Schultz, in which I'd rather go with those guys. Oh my God. Did you guys hear that? Was that an audible noise? Ooh, I used to go to the chiropractor a lot when I used to play football, and I got addicted to cracking my necks. Anyway, that was an ASMR for you guys. So, let me see this chat. Carter Ring says, hey, Andrew, Cordero Patterson or Miles Sanders? Cordero Patterson. No problem. If Dalvin doesn't... Okay, so this is Rob Castle. If Dalvin don't play, who do I play? CEH, Moss, or J.D. McKissick? I'd play CEH there. Okay, a couple more questions via donation. Vance Walker says, trade Devontae for Marquise Brown and Aaron Jones. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take that. I think Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams, excuse me. In terms of value in the first round, rest of season, if you need a running back, like if you really need a running back, maybe you had Montgomery or something, I don't mind doing that and getting some recouped value at running back, which is obviously a top 5 guy, and then also getting Marquise Brown on top of it. Nick Kane says flex PPR, Damian Harris, Lamb, or Galladay. Come on, we got to play that Lamb. Nick Kane, I'm playing Lamb, especially if Cooper's out. That's just that's even better. Jack Darjean says safe to drop Ayuk. Yeah, if you'd like, you can drop Ayuk. Certainly you can. Was it my Twitter DM? My name is Reese. Okay. Let's see here, Reese. What did you... Okay, there's... I got to search it because I don't even have the ability to scroll. So let's see. Is it in the requests? Because I don't think I can search requests. Reese? It's just at Reese. Okay. Yeah, I see it, Reese. All right, Reese, let's see your team. So you got Mahomes, Mixon, James Robinson, Marvin Jones, DJ Moore, Knox, Cordero Patterson. You got a good kicker. Calvin Ridley's not playing. Kittle's been a bum. All right, it's time to start moving things. You're 0-4 on this team, right? You got to start moving pieces. And what I mean moving pieces, I think it's time to maybe try. I mean, I think Mixon probably plays this week, but I think it's time to try to maybe move Kittle and see what you can recoup in terms of value there. Try to improve your wide receiver. I mean, you have Ridley still. Man, it is really hard to improve this team because you've got good pieces, and your flex is Cordero. He's going to keep feasting. Yeah, I think it's time to maybe move a Kittle kind of piece and see what you can do there. Nick Kane says also Cousins or Lance. Okay, at this current moment in time, I have Cousins as my number 8 quarterback on the week. I have Trey Lance as my number 19. Okay, thank you very much. Jack Darjean says trade Najee Harris for DJ Moore. No. Half PPR, no. If it was a full, I'd entertain the idea, but even then, I'd say no. No, I'd rather have Najee rest season. RR Sam says have Kamara and Swift and Henderson. All right, great. Those are good running backs across the board. I'm glad that's the case. Little worried about Kamara and the passing game. Should I trade? Should I trade for another RB1? I'm 3-1. Great videos. Thank you very much. All right. So the question about whether or not we can trust Alvin Kamara rest of season is something that I'm sure, like myself, I'm beginning to wonder, have we made a terrible mistake in trusting Sean Payton in the way that he has run his offense in the last couple of years, and assuming that it's going to, continue into this season. Now, I wanted to check something in particular. I'm going to check a stat out. I want to see how many routes Alvin Kamara has ran this season. Oh, man, it's not a good number. Wow. Alvin Kamara has ran 76 routes and been targeted a total of 13 times. Is that true? Is it 13? I know PFF may be a little bit different number. Let's see here. Kamara has a total of 14 targets. Okay, so it's PFF is just one off. It's no big deal. But still 10 receptions. So he is being targeted on per route. What is this math right here? 14 divided by 76. He's being targeted 18% of the time when he runs out for a route. That's terrible. In comparison to last year, that number was like 27%. And he was running a significantly higher percentage of routes per game. 76 routes in 4 games. Somebody do the math for me on that. I mean, that's not good. We're not looking at good numbers in this specific scenario. So unless that number is going to significantly increase, we're in trouble. So if you can go get another RB1, I mean, like it's a matter of who are you getting? Are you getting Zeke? I'll take it. Are you getting McCaffrey? I'll take it. You getting Cook? I'll talk about it, but you got to have Madison. Are you gonna get Henry? Sure, I'll take Henry. But like outside of that, it's tough to trade him for like an Aaron Jones right now. Let's see here. Enzo sends it a question. Full PPR. Risk playing all 3 Allen, Williams, and Cook this week versus Cleveland. Okay, Jared Cook specifically, okay. Or mix in Conklin/Cook, flex one. Okay, so is it a risk to play all 3 of those options against Cleveland? As much as I want to say, yeah, I think you're fine. I think the offense is going to be throwing the whole game. So I'm just going to follow my rankings and say, listen, even if you played Conklin over Cook, like what difference is it going to make? If the passing offense of the Chargers is dead, you lose anyway, right? So you should just full in, chips to the middle of the table. I'm all in. And then your second question was flex one, Edmonds, Williams, or Chase. At this moment, I'm most likely flexing Williams there. Yeah, I'm probably going Mike Williams, then Jamar Chase, then actually probably Williams, Edmonds, then Chase. Because Higgins comes back, a little bit of that touchdown upside, maybe a little bit decreased. Let's see here. AIWGS says, just traded Patterson and Lamb for Swift. Patterson and Lamb for Swift. Thoughts? Look, I love the idea of going after DeAndre Swift. I do. I really do like the idea of it. Is it something that I need to do for Lamb and Patterson? Probably not. Let me look at your team here. I have Herbert, Aaron Jones, Swift, Hill, Mike Williams, Henry / Gronk, and then Mixon. I don't hate it. Was there a chance of you getting a better running back for this trade? Maybe. But if Swift looks like a 15-point running back rest of the way, I think you'll be fine with this trade. Either way, congrats on completing a trade because it's very rare that you're able to trade Patterson, especially now. All right, let's look at this chat. What's going on in here as well? Jonathan Taylor or Keenan Allen? I mean, it's a matter of what scoring format you're in. If you're in a full PPR, I think I'm more inclined to play the receiver there. Turo says, Fant or Knox? Again, guys, my tight end rankings are incorporated in the same video as the Kyler Murray thumbnail from earlier today. So my quarterback and tight end rankings are all in one video, just so I could put it out quicker earlier today, so that we didn't miss out on the tight ends and quarterbacks for the Thursday night game. I just wanted to do that all in one. I think that's probably how I'm going to do it going forward, as it's far more efficient to just upload one video than have to edit two, have to upload two, and deal with all that kind of lag. So yeah, right now I currently have Knox as my number 6 and Fant as my number 11 tight end of the week, so I'm going Knox there. As for Cooper or AB, if Amari Cooper is healthy, I'd probably play him, but I don't think he's healthy, and I think he might not even play, so I'm going to go AB there. But of course, we'll see how time goes. Harry Cole says, give Woods and Damian Williams for Ridley. Listen, I want to buy Ridley if I can. I do. But it depends on where you're at in this current situation, Harry. If your team is good enough to where you can give away those players and get Ridley, and Ridley's not going to hurt you missing this week, missing next week with the bye, and it's not going to play a big, potential strain on your roster going forward, I'm okay with that because I really do think that Ridley is a good play rest of season. T. Higgins or Edmonds, grade the trade. T. Higgins for Edmonds. Yeah, I'll take that. I love Edmonds. Anytime you can trade for Edmonds right now, I think it's great. Because you know what happens to James Conner. It happens every season, guys. We all know it. Can we all say it on 3? 1, 2, 3. Injuries. It's eventually going to happen, and when it does, Chase Edmonds is going to be an unstoppable force in fantasy. Pitts or Knox PPR? Adam, like I was just saying, my rankings are up, and it's on the video. Go check it out. Let's see here. Guys, did my video not release? Am I crazy? Why am I getting tight end questions? Guys, am I muted? Hello? No way we're all asking tight end questions. I'm not answering tight end questions anymore. Guys, I answer all those on the video, man. I got to get some views somehow, right? Come on, guys. Got to help me out. Do you think Dalvin Cook plays? No, I do not believe he plays. He missed 2 consecutive practices. They play against Detroit. Most likely will not be playing this week. School Nights says, do I play Shenault or Jacoby Myers? All right, let me look at my rankings. Let's say you're playing in a full PPR. I believe I have Myers ahead of him. Yeah, I have Myers at 26. I have Shenault as a 32. So Myers it is. Superflex 10-team league. RBs are Kamara, Najee Harris, and wide receivers are A-Rob, Keenan Allen, Deontay. Do I trade Henderson and Myers for DJ Moore? You want to trade a running back and Myers for DJ Moore? I don't mind it, but I don't know. I mean, like, what happens? Who's your third running back? Like, are you really giving? Because you might be giving up too much. Because Moore is good, but like, is Moore putting up 27 a week? Nah, that's not happening. That's definitely not going to be the case unless he wants to, break the record for the most fantasy points for a wide receiver in NFL history, of course. But you never know. Let's see here. Luis Ramos sends in a dono, says, I need to flex CEH, Myers, or Sutton. If you're playing in a half PPR, I'll take CEH. If you're playing in a full PPR, give me Myers. Thank you. What are we at here? Full PPR, should I trade Fournette for Edmonds? Yeah, I'll take it. Especially with Giovanni Bernard coming back and always the potential, and always like a very slight potential, but it's always going to be looming. Rojo taking over on a single given game. It's always possible. Hey, do you do defensive rankings? Would you rank Arizona and Las Vegas? I do defensive rankings via Patreon, but I am willing to answer it because you've asked so nicely. So let's see here. Arizona and Las Vegas. I would rather play Arizona over Las Vegas this week. Even though the Las Vegas Raiders matchup does look good because Fields is a kind of quarterback, I also think that, Arizona playing against, look, I guess it's a matter of which rookie quarterback is going to be better and which offense is going to be better as a whole. I don't know. I feel like Arizona's just got more potential because, both these quarterbacks haven't looked good. Now, again, doesn't mean my defensive rankings are accurate. If they were 100% perfectly accurate, I'd be on Vegas, putting it all on one team and just sending it. But anyway. All right, Jacob says, Andrew, my man, we need to talk about Woods. The wait is over. Give me your thoughts and let's just celebrate. Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I was talking to everyone a little bit earlier, we kind of expected it to eventually happen, right? Like, there's no way that Matthew Stafford comes into this offense and doesn't inject him with targets. Like, it's going to happen, and I'm glad it finally did. Now, it only took us 5 weeks to get here. Luckily, he's got another 12 to get himself back to the conversation of being a high-end wide receiver too. Because once it's all said and done, we'll be talking about that next offseason that, oh, look at him. He was a top 15 wide receiver. Yes, he started slow, but look about, what he did from weeks 5 through 17. And if you expand that on a 17-game basis, he would have been the numbers, like all these kind of narratives and, all the stuff that we throw on you guys to try to sell players. But anyway, Noah Fan or Knox. Lucas, I did post my rankings for quarterbacks and tight ends earlier today. If you'd like to check that out, you can go to the channel, check that out. I will give you a little bit of a sneak peek. I did rank Fant lower than Knox this week, mainly because of quarterback. Thoughts on Crowder rest of season? If he stays healthy, he should be a great option there. It's a pretty good safety blanket for the rookie quarterback. Noah sends in a donation, says, hey, bro, I have Chris Carson out this week. Should I go Gibson or Hines? 100% you have to you have Gordon and Hines. My bad, I read that wrong. You have to play neither of them. I don't even know if either of them either play this week. Hines is hurt, missed practice. Gordon is hurt, plays Pittsburgh. So technically, if you have no other options, you play Gordon. But I don't like it. What do we got here? Gibson or Lamb full PPR? Is this week? We play Lamb. Miles or A-Rob? Are we really? Oh, no. Tyler Dean. Do we really have to play Miles or A-Rob? No, please. Not like this. Okay, I'm thinking if for example, we have 100% confirmation that Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, the right tackle, we get Malata back, we move Dillard to the left guard position. If we can get 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen for this team ready to go, I'd play Miles Sanders. Waddle or Tony? I'd play Waddle. Andrew, please. Robbie Marquez. I'm assuming that's Marquez Callaway, but you got to just in case. Robbie Marquez, Josh Gordon. I'm playing Robbie Anderson. Thank you. Andrew, I just pulled off a trade, which I got Christian McCaffrey for Gaskin and CeeDee Lamb. You're lying. That's it. You're lying. Stop. Don't lie to me like this, okay? Don't play with my heart. Okay? That's not fair, okay? Don't do that to me. You understand? Don't do that to me. That's not fair. This year, Stanley says flex. Corey Davis, Sutton, Golladay, or Waddle. Corey Davis, Sutton, Golladay, or Waddle. Corey Davis, thank you. Stanley, appreciate it. I think Corey Davis against that Atlanta Falcons secondary. I know they'll be in London, but their secondary is just awful this season, and it has been for the last couple years, so why not? So it's currently 10:04. I've been streaming for how many minutes here? Let me go ahead and see. I started at 8:50, so it's 8:55, excuse me. So we're about an hour in. Not bad. About a little bit more than an hour in. Just to kind of give you guys some context. If you're in here, and if you haven't clicked the like button, that means that you're just kind of pointing the middle finger at me. You're just like, you know what, Andrew, take the bird. And if that's the case, then I don't feel good. That makes my heart hurt. Because I'm here to try to help every single day. And yes, I may not be 100% accurate, but who is, right? So please, don't give me the bird today. Not the bird. I don't want the bird. Okay? Give me some love. Click that like button, please. All right, that's my sales pitch, guys. Hopefully it worked. Bro, I sent you money and you're going to ignore my question? What? Sunshot. When did you send? Sunshot. Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad, dude. I thought, wait, no, I read it. Oh, no, that's a different Chris Carson question. That's my bad, Sunshot. Literally, I read Noah's question. It was a Chris Carson question, and I looked immediately back at it, and I saw Chris Carson again, so I went to the next one. That's on me. My bad. Thoughts on Chris Carson rest of season? It depends how bad the injury is. If, in fact, that herniated disc in his neck is going to be something that probably holds him out for Jiminy Christmas. If it's going to hold him out for a couple weeks here and you don't have Collins, you're going to be in trouble. But I don't know what the diagnosis is. I don't know what I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to even presume to expect, hey, this is the current situation and we're going to end up breaking it down like this. I have no idea what the recovery time is. I've heard, Dr. Morris, I'm sure many of you guys watch him on YouTube. I've heard him talk about it. I don't know exactly what the timeline is. I don't know if he even knows. Maybe he knows the type of injury, but we don't even know to what extent it is because they don't give us enough information. We know, some details here and there. He missed this week. Obviously hasn't looked good in the last couple of weeks, so he might be out for a while. We never know. So I'm a little concerned. If you can trade him now and kind of swindle somebody, why not? Tyler says, thank you for the reply. Great channel. Thank you, Tyler. Hamd sends in a don't know, but there isn't a message attached to it. Hamd, let's see if I can find your question. It says, choose two: Marvin Jones, Chase Edmonds. Okay, so Chase, that's Jamar Chase. Chase Edmonds, Galladay, or AJ Green. Out of the mentioned players, Hamd, I would play Jamar Chase and Chase Edmonds. Thank you. Michael Dobbs sends in a question. Dobbs, let me see if your message is in the chat somewhere because it wasn't attached to your donation. It says, my team is Darnold, Herbert, McCaffrey, Carson, Damian Williams, Hubbard, Gordon, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, A.J. Brown. I love the wide receivers. Shepard, Devontae Parker. I feel like running back is your weakness. So at this current moment in time, it is because you have a lot of injuries. Specifically, McCaffrey has been on that bubble of injury. Chris Carson's now on that bubble. As to the trades that you can potentially make, I mean, you don't have much movement theoretically. You can maybe bundle Carson with a receiver and try to ship them. It doesn't look like you have a tight end because you didn't mention one. Hopefully you went and picked up one of the studs off the waivers in the last couple weeks, whether it's Schultz or Knox. I think it's a matter of just like trying to pivot and move Carson to try to get an upgraded RB2. And whether you do have to throw in one of these wide receivers for it, maybe you do it. If you can only start two wide receivers in this league, I'm willing to be like, you know what? Let's take Keenan Allen. Let's keep him. Let's take, if it's between A.J. Brown and Deontay, if it's a full PPR, we'll keep Deontay. We'll take A.J. Brown. We'll take Carson. We'll try to upgrade him for like a huge upgrade at running back maybe. As of who? Let's go try to get Nick Chubb. I'm not even kidding. A lot of people look at Nick Chubb's numbers as of late. He's not scoring touchdowns, and they begin to panic because they're idiots. Let's see here. Fernando Castillo says, trade Lockett and Damian Williams for Diggs. Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the deal. If you don't need the running back, I don't mind it. It's good trade fodder. Kai Tom says, drop two, half PPR. Michael Carter, Mitchell, Sermon, Tony, Pitts, Latavius. If I'm dropping two out of this group, I'm dropping Kadarius Toney, and I'm dropping... Wow. I don't know if I want to drop Mitchell and get burnt by that. I think I have to drop Michael Carter as well. Because Latavius is the starter. Pitts is the starter. And the great tight end that you could probably trade in the coming weeks. You just got to give it some time. Sermon and Mitchell is the toss-up. I want to figure out who the starter is before I drop one and mess that up, So that's my suggestion. Najee Adams says, standard. You know what's crazy? I went my entire life not hearing the name or reading the name Najee forever. Literally forever. And then all of a sudden, Najee Harris. I hear it once, and it's just like this mental thing where I see it left, right, and center. Everywhere. Najee Adams, anyway, your question. Standard league, pick one. Start a flex. We have Juju, Rojo, Deontay Harris, KJ Osborne, leaning towards Juju, but what do you think? Yeah, that's your best option. Legitimately, you have to play Juju Smith-Schuster. And hopefully he can get more targets and at least more quality targets this week because I know Ben Roethlisberger, pec injury, arm injury, hip injury, elbow injury, it's all happening to him. So hopefully he can kind of have a little bit of a bounce back week here against the Denver Broncos. Hamd says, that's who I picked as well. Ridley out unlucky. Yeah. Carlos says, New Orleans DST versus Washington or stream Atlanta versus the New York Jets. I'd rather play New Orleans, honestly. I don't think, there's a possibility where Atlanta kind of goes off, but I don't think I can predict that, nor do I want to risk it. Sunspot says, Carson, Alex Collins, Jamal Williams, Jared Cook for J-Rob. Wait, I'm sorry. You're sending 4 players for one? Carson, Alex, no, I wouldn't. I don't think I can do that. I don't know what the rest of your team looks like, but if you're that desperate for a running back, maybe you're playing in a smaller league, maybe you can get away with it. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple things here. First and foremost, I'm thinking about doing a draft, but let me see how long it'll take for me to get into one. Maybe I can try this. Let me see what I can do here, guys. One moment, please. All right, let me look at the chat here. You're the man, Andrew. Thanks for all the help. No problem, man. No problem. Bismarck says, I traded Robert Woods and Trey Sermon for Allen Robinson and Joe Burrow in a 2-quarterback league. I thought it was a good trade, but I don't know after the last game. I mean, look, if you needed a quarterback in a 2 QB league, I think it's worth it. If you needed quarterback. If you didn't and you were just trading to get a third one, then maybe you were getting a little too cute with it. But at this point, if you needed that quarterback, you need Burrow. He'll serve you well rest of the season. I believe that for sure. Let's see here. Would you start mixing? Okay, hold up really quickly. Someone sent in a donation. Jack Darjean says, solely have won me multiple weeks. Yeah, no problem. Listen, I've solely lost people multiple weeks. There's a give and take to every scenario in this fantasy world. I'm sure many of you guys have lost in a given week. Yeah, look, Big Chong even says it. Tygon Williams. Exactly. I said Tyson Williams was going to have a great week against the Detroit Lions. My goodness, was he supposed to? Like, it's just disgusting that he doesn't. Because everybody else has. But anyway, besides the point. Flow Easy says, would you be open to grade fantasy lineups? I mean, grade, I don't know if grading is the best moniker as to whether or not we're set for success. But listen, if you want to send in your lineup, I'm willing to look it over and absolutely let you know what I think overall and what needs to be improved. Oftentimes, I'm just going to be totally blunt. If you're in a 10-team or an 8-team league, I don't even want to see the team because it is probably stacked in comparison to all the teams that I see on my weekly basis on my teams. And I'm typically going to look at it and be like, you know what, it's pretty stacked. But listen, nonetheless, you want to give it a shot, you certainly can. Don't give me the bird. Yeah, listen, I was given the bird multiple times. Listen, guys, there was 400 of you in here, and I didn't get more than 50 FN likes, and that's unfortunate. But hey, you know what? I'll live, and I'll survive. I will survive. Yeah. I don't want to get DMCA'd. Let's not sing anymore. All right, let's see here. What was in the chat? If I'm looking up, it's because my second monitor is above me, by the way. Let me see here. Okay, so I'm going to test something out if we can, theoretically. Someone else sent in a question. Sunspot says, full trade. Carson, Collins, Jamal Williams, Jared Cook for James Robinson and Shepard. Is that worth it? You're giving up 2 running backs for one. One's a backup, one's a starter, whether it is Carson or Collins the rest of the season. And then you have Jared Cook as a toss-up. Yeah, I'll take it. At that point, I'll take it. Jamie Jaquez says, should I trade Patterson right now that he's hot? I have Zeke, Saquon, A.J. Brown, Godwin, A.B., and Waller. Yeah, if you can sell him now, I don't mind it. As to what you can get for it, that's 100% up to whether or not your league is willing to give away pieces for a guy like Cordero Patterson, which year over year has been a very inconsistent product, right? So he hasn't really been ever given the amount of opportunity he has as of late. So I don't blame people for not wanting to grab him, theoretically. Okay. You know what I want to try to do, guys? All right, so I'm going to try something here. We'll give it a shot in a second. So I'm going to go here. Another question was sent in. Michael Dobbs says, should I wait to trade Carson, AJ, and AJ Brown, bundle when Carson is healthy? Chubb owner doesn't want to have any other RB. What other RB can I focus if declines? What other running? Okay, so in terms of, yes, we talked about moving these 2 assets to try to get an upgraded running back. Who's another upgraded running back that might want to be able to be sold to you for those options? Because ultimately, yeah, you might have to wait till he's healthy, but what if he's never healthy? That's the problem. What if he doesn't, come back soon enough? And at that point, you're in a tough spot. So let me marinate on it. Let me think about it for a while. I mean, if you can try to get it, there's no way that someone's giving you Najee Harris. If you can, go for it. If someone's going to give you Saquon Barkley, go for it. If someone's, there are the upper echelon guys, Eckler, Zeke, we want them. That's what we're aiming for. But we'll fall amongst, I don't want to fall and grab a DeAndre Swift for 2 studs like that. I don't. I want a top premier back. And I don't want Jonathan Taylor's. I want Chubb's, and I want other guys that are among that top tier. Hey, Andrew, would you trade Cooper Kupp for McCaffrey? No. Of course I would. Come on, man. Christian McCaffrey, give away Cooper Kupp right now. Do it now. Who is that in the chat, by the way? Let me see here. Who even said that? I don't. It like disappeared for a second there. Oh, it was George. George, come on, man. Yes, of course. You garnered a like for me. Nice job on the live show. Thank you very much, K-Mac. Hey, Andrew, would you trade CEH and AJ Brown for Chubb? Should I do that? No. Keep what you have. Let's see here. Hamid said Cooper and Swift for Justin Jefferson and Taylor. Cooper and Swift for JJ and Taylor. Yeah, I'll take it. Give me JJ and Taylor. Carlos says, leave a like for the man. Are you not entertained? Yeah, that's a good quote. Good movie. All right, really quickly, I'm going to try something, guys. Let's see how this looks theoretically on screen. I'm going to test something out here. Okay, so it looks a little weird. Let me go ahead and hop into a best ball. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have checked it out yet, but Underdog Fantasy right now has a thing where they're doing best ball drafts for the rest of the season. So from week 6 through 17, it's called Best Ball Resurrection. So I'm going to click on this thing. Let me answer this. What is it? $10 entry? All right, we're gonna roll with it real quick. I'm going to hop into here. Notifications, don't want it. All right, so theoretically, I'm going to be in here. If it doesn't fill up, so be it. I wish I could invite you guys, for those of you guys who play. If you guys haven't yet already, you can check out the description down below. Underdog Fantasy, use promo code Andrew with any deposit first time of $10 or more. You get $10 in bonus cash. You can hop into a contest like this. In terms of what I'm looking for, I'm going to be drafting as long as this thing fills up. Currently, we've got a good amount of spots filled up. There's a couple teams that are remaining here that need to be filled in. We'll see what that does. But either way, I'm going to look at the chat. I'm going to be answering questions the whole time. Just wanted to throw this up on screen, as we continue. Also, what I wanted to do real quick, if I could, was, yeah, we're just going to leave it as such. We'll leave it as such. All right, let's look at the chat real quick. Moore or McLaurin? Rest of the season, I'll take Moore. Who would you start, Allen Robinson or Juju? I'd play Allen Robinson. My running backs are poor this year. We have Cooks, Sanders, Carson, Damian Williams. Damn, you got the injury bug. I don't think the Eagles know how to run the ball. Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree in any capacity. I think they don't know how to run the ball either. I don't think they can run the ball either. Let's see here. Play Cooper or A.J. Brown, or both. If Cooper's healthy, I want to play him, but I don't think I'm playing him over A.J. Brown. If A.J. Brown's good to go, I love the matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I truly do. Let's see here. Zulugs says, full PPR, pick 2, Hunt, Damian Harris, Damian Williams. In a full PPR, I'm playing Hunt and Damian Williams. Zulugs, thank you. Let's see here. Myers, Devonta Smith, or Chenault at the flex, half PPR. In a half PPR, I believe I'm going Devonta Smith. In a full PPR, I go with Myers, I believe. What should I do with Gaskin in the 12 team? Leave him on the bench, Thomas. That's where he belongs at this point, unfortunately. He went from like touching the ball 18 times per game last season to being rendered a unreliable fantasy commodity this year. It's crazy. By the way, I'm looking up, guys, because that's where my second monitor is. Because the camera's here, I can't put a monitor here. So I mean, like there, I can't put a monitor there. I gotta look up. Hollywood and CEH for Metcalf. Do you not need running back depth? If you don't need running back depth, then I guess you could maybe go for that. Darnell Mooney for Latavius Murray, full PPR. I have Mixon, Cook, and Connor. It looks like you need running back. Yep, let's do it. Andrew, would you trade Amari and Collins for Cordero and Mike Williams? Man, that's a good question. The only reason I hesitate is because if Alex Collins is going to be the starter rest of the season, do I really want him? Yeah, but is he as good as Carson as a running back? Absolutely not. So I think I'll probably take the opposite side of that trade. I'll take the Williams and Patterson side. Yo, Andrew, what's up? Cook, Madison, Latavius, Sermon, pick 2 for Sunday, my dude. All right, listen, dude. Mono, whatever your name. No, I'm just kidding. To be honest, in terms of the players that you currently have, I'm assuming that Cook's not going to play. If he does, then you start him. But I'm assuming he's not going to play. So with that being said, we'd play Madison and we play Latavius Murray. And you leave Sermon on the bench because Sermon has Mitchell on his, on his tail. So that's what we're looking at. CEH for Renfro? Absolutely not. What are we talking about? Come on. What are we talking about? Absolutely not. Not going to be the case. Not going to be the case. We're not doing that. Not this year, guys. Not this year. I'm going to try something real quick. Where are we at? Miles Sanders or Laviska? I mean, it's a matter of what scoring format you're in, but I think I'm playing Laviska either way. What do I do with Chris Carson? Ricardo Del Toro. My suggestion is to probably wait or try to ship him immediately. And sometimes you'll have the luxury of being able to wait, and sometimes your record won't give you that luxury. Maybe you're 1-3, maybe you're 2-2, very unlucky, maybe looking down the barrel of a third loss this week. You may not have the luxury to wait, and you may have to start trading, and you might have to move him for, a little bit of a downgraded piece just so that you have a lineup to be able to function on a weekly basis. Hey man, love the channel. Got offered Calvin Ridley from Robert Woods. Yeah, I'll take it. Is it the smartest decision? I think for as much as we've waited for Robert Woods to have a pop-off game, I think, Calvin Ridley is coming. But just to preface, Calvin Ridley does have a bye week next week, so don't expect him to, show up until week, 7? Let's see here. What else do we got? First and foremost, guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'm going to try to get into one of these drafts. If you guys haven't realized what exactly this is, I'm doing a best ball rest of season draft for Underdog Fantasy. If you guys haven't checked out Underdog, I'm sure you guys have heard it 1,000 times. But if you ever thought about giving it a chance and supporting me, use the promo code Andrew down in the description. With your first deposit of $10 or more, you also get $10 of bonus cash. Helps support me a lot. And also gets you to play more fantasy football. I just want to give one of these a shot. I think this could be fun. I used to play a lot of best ball. Obviously, there are times in which best ball, in my opinion, especially preseason, doesn't give you the right looks per se. Because you're like, hey, you know what? Let me draft a player for upside rather than longevity. And it's kind of like different ADPs in that sense. But ultimately, it's kind of the same idea. And hopefully when I run this draft, assuming that 4 more people hop in here, it'll give you an idea as to which players I prefer rest of season. And maybe guys you might be looking to trade for in terms of where this draft kind of goes. But again, a best ball is a matter of like, hey, who is going to score on a weekly basis the most? And you don't even have to set your lineup. So I'm putting in $10 here. And I'm going to let this, this season run from week 6 through 17. Whoever ends up having the most points throughout those weeks wins the pot. I think it's a 12-team league. I end up winning like $100 if you win the whole thing. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Let's see here. Questions. Okay, Mark sends in a question. Says, half PPR and flex. Pick one, Allen Robinson, OJ Brown. OBJ, Samaje Perine, or Crowder. I'm going to play Crowder there. I'm not even kidding. I do not trust OBJ. Because Baker looks like I don't trust Allen Robinson because Justin Fields looks like and then Samaje Perine probably won't be able to be running the ball very much because they're going to be throwing the entire time, and maybe Mixon even plays. So I go Crowder there. Sunday morning football. If you guys aren't aware already, the Sunday morning game between the Jets and the Atlanta Falcons is in London. Eastern Standard Time, that starts at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, that starts at 6:30 a.m. So even before I get on to stream on Sunday, that game will be in action. Those players will be already rolling. So keep in mind that. Don't wake up late. Don't have your lineups not set, ready to go before then, okay? Okay, cool. Could I trade Hunt and Patterson for King, Henry, and Kittle? Can I trade Hunt and Patterson? Yeah, okay, Green Caesar. The question of could I, right? Could I? I don't know if you could. If you could, I would say do it. But I don't know if the guy in your league that has King Henry, the guy or girl, whatever, has King Henry and Kittle. I don't know if they're willing to give that for Hunt and Patterson. If it's me, I'm saying absolutely not, and I'm so insulted by the offer that I might slap. No, I'm just kidding. But in reality, it's just a matter of whether that person wants to make the trade. Players are only worth what other people, kind of perceive them as, and that's just how fantasy works in trades. Jacobs, Taylor, Deontay, Corey Davis, pick 2. Deontay and Taylor. Ray Rodriguez says CH or AJ Brown non-PPR. Good question. Good soup. I'm gonna probably lean with. Oh man, I kind of want to say AJ Brown. I'm gonna say AJ Brown. I think he has more touchdown upside there. Okay, is this draft gonna start? Cool. All right, I'm gonna try to build a monster squad here. We'll see how this goes though. Which pick am I? Let's see here. Where am I? Hello. I'm the 11th pick? Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. What have we done? I'm the 11th pick here? Oh, goodness. What is this? What is this? This is brutal. All right, this starts in 30 seconds. I'm going to let this run in the background. I'm going to try to compile the best possible team I can. It is a best ball. I'm looking to probably get, out of 18 rounds, 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, and then that's 6, and then probably 6 wide receivers, 6 running backs, maybe 8 wide receivers, 4 running backs, depending on the value of what falls to me when. So that's what I'm thinking right now. We'll kind of put it to action. We'll see exactly what comes about here. I'm the 10th, rip. Oh, no. You're drafting next to me. Zulux, damn it. Oh, dude, I can't even strategize. I can't even talk about it. You're gonna cook me the whole day, huh? I was the 11th pick this year. It was bad. Yeah, I know. No, actually, to be honest, this year the 11th pick isn't bad. If you guys listen to what I was saying all off season, it was draft Kelsey, Eckler, or Najee Harris there. So it actually couldn't be that bad. In the second round, once it came back, you either get one of those 3 guys if they fell to you, or you got a top, 3-4 wide receiver. And though Calvin Ridley, Stephon Diggs haven't been up to par, I don't think that's a bad way to start your draft. I feel like you would be in a pretty solid situation in that regard. But what do we got here? Henry, McCaffrey, Kelsey. Of course, Kelsey always goes in best balls relatively early. It says start Marvin Jones or Cortland Sutton. Young Spenny. I'm going to say you go with Marvin Jones this week against Tennessee's lackluster dog secondary. Yeah. Cortland Sutton's great, but I don't trust Drew Lock. Let's see here. Floodgate says, would you rather trade Mike Evans or Adam Thielen rest of season? Would you rather have, Mike Evans or Adam Thielen rest of season? I also have Deontay Johnson. Gonna say stay consistent. Yeah, Deontay Johnson's a great option. I think rest of season, I'm still leaning towards keeping Mike Evans. I almost said Mike Williams. Yeah, Mike Evans. So what are we doing here? Is Dalvin Cook not going to be drafted? If Dalvin Cook drops to me, I'm easily taking him, and it's not even a conversation. Ultimately, I want a running back. Who? Any of these studs. I'll take it. Saquon, you want to fall down to me? Listen, Zeke is still here. Give me Zeke, please. No, hey, listen, Zulugs, I didn't say that, okay? Zulugs, give me a break, okay? Give me a break. Let me just have one of them, okay? Let me just have one. I know you're drafting next to me. It's unfortunate that you're drafting next to me, but just, take it easy on me, all right? Take it easy on me. And then if you tell me you want something, I'll let it slide to you in the second round, We'll help each other out here. Who else is left at wide receiver? Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson's available. Not bad. Saquon. Dang it, man. The guy took Saquon, bro. That's unfortunate. Which wide receivers have been taken? Tyreek Hill? Yeah, the top 2, of course. Of course. Matt Slaw, I just saw your donation. I'm going to answer that in a second. The guy took Ezekiel Elliott right in front of me. I'm disgusted. I'm in pain. I'm just suffering at this point. Gosh, man. All right. So looking rest of season in terms of these prospects accordingly, it's between Najee Harris and Aaron Jones. I'm probably thinking it's probably Aaron Jones still rest of season. So we're going to roll with it. Let me see here. Matt Shaw says 8-team half PP. Okay, so 8-team half PPR. QBs are Wilson and Lance. Russell Wilson and Trey Lance. Okay. What is this? Close this. Harris Mix. Wait, what the heck is going on? Okay, never mind. Henry Harris, Mixon, Damian Williams. Wide. Okay, am I on the clock? Oh my God, I'm on the clock. I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize, guys. I had 5 seconds left. I panic picked Najee Harris. I panic picked Najee Harris. You know what I'm gonna do real quick? Just really quickly, guys. I gotta just for. What is that? There we are. My goodness, I panicked picked Najee Harris. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, it's not terrible, but I wanted a wide receiver there, specifically Justin Jefferson, and Zulugs is just gonna cook me today, huh? He's just gonna cook me. Whatever. All right. Matt Shaw says 8-team. Wilson, Lance. I'm okay with Wilson. Wilson might be out for a little while. Hopefully Lance is going to be the long-term guy there. Henry Harris, Mixon, Damian Williams, more Ridley, Keenan Allen, Chase, with Mike Thomas, Kelsey. Any upgrades? I think your main upgrade is most likely going to be at quarterback. I don't know if you can sustain a season with Wilson with injury and Trey Lance with probably him becoming the backup in a couple weeks once they go on bye week 7. Garoppolo returns in they go on bye week 6. Garoppolo returns in week 7. Excuse me. So I think you need to upgrade at quarterback for sure. Otherwise, the rest of your team looks great, man. I learned from the blessed. I can blame you. Yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine. You got a good start. I think that Zeke. I don't know how you're able to get Zeke at the back end of the first. Like, people do not respect Zeke. Like, when I put him in my tier list in the S tier, everyone's like, Zeke in the S tier, Andrew. How dare you? He's so bad. It's like, bro, how is he bad? Like, he's an actual good running back. He's a stud. Would you start Mixon, Patterson, Fournette this week? Would I start Mixon, Patterson, Fournette this week? Mixon, if he plays, I'm rolling. No. What was the format again? I just want to confirm. Because I'm probably playing Fournette above all the rest of them. I think I'm playing Fournette over the rest. Yeah. You're thinking Patterson? I mean, listen, if you want to run Patterson, you certainly can. I like Fournette a lot. If it's a full PPR, I could see the conversation for going with Patterson. But, I mean, damn, Fournette is in a very good matchup this week. All right, where is this timer at? Like, who's picking and where are we at? Am I on the clock again or am I auto-picked? Did I auto-pick already? No, right? Where are we at here? Oh, I'm right here. Okay, cool. I was about to say. All right, let's see what's available on this board real quick. Questions. Damian Williams or Corey Davis, full PPR? I go with Corey Davis there, man. Alec Cornwell says, Shenault, Crowder, or Tony? Shenault. Ooh, these wide receivers look nice. Okay. I like some of these guys. A lot. Hawkinson. Yeah, Waller's gone. There's a lot of running backs left, huh? People don't really respect running backs in best balls. Interesting. I mean, I don't blame them, but at the same time, I do blame them. Let's see here. Patrick sent in the dono. Thank you very much, Patrick. I appreciate that. 2 QB. No tight end league. Mahomes, Lance, Kupp, Deontay Johnson, Eckler, Hilaire. We have Waller, 3-1. I'm looking to get a number 1 wide receiver with Waller or Hilaire. If you're going to trade one of those 2 pieces for a number 1 wide receiver, I would suggest it most likely be, I mean, I don't even know who your second running back would be if you're trade. I mean, do you need a number 1 wide receiver? You have Kupp and Deontay. Like, what? Do you need to really upgrade? I feel like in this scenario, you'd rather just sit on your hands and just let the team do its work because that's what it's been built to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, let's see here. Life Flow says start Corey Davis, AJ Green, or Kenny Galladay standard. I'm going to play Corey Davis against Atlanta. That secondary has been awful. I know Galladay's coming off a 100-yard week. I know, Green's coming off of back-to-back weeks of a touchdown. Let's see what Z-Lug does to me. Antonio Gibson, very interesting. Go at that. To be honest, listen, I believed in Calvin Ridley 5 weeks ago. I believe him still. Let's go, baby. Calvin Ridley to the moon. Okay, let's see. I have to recover off that, but we'll see, where it kind of takes us here. Running back's very interesting, but I think I need to invest in another wide receiver right now. Javonte or OBJ? Shoosh. Look, Javonte is a matter of whether or not Melvin Gordon plays. If Melvin Gordon's out, I'm willing to roll it, but it's against Pittsburgh. Trevor Lawrence or Tannehill? Trevor Lawrence or Tannehill? This week? Tannehill. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is good, but, if J-Rob's going to be unleashed, then it's a little bit sketchy. Did I just auto-pick again? Bro, I'm answering questions. I'm getting... Honestly, I'm okay with Godwin. But I would have went Deontay Johnson because that's my guy, and I've been banging the table for my guy for months now, years. Regardless, it is what it is. It happens. I don't care about the auto pick. It's not a big deal. If anything, my boy Z-Lugs over here is getting, he's getting juiced. I'm helping him out. Split me some of that winnings later. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. Everybody relax. Michael Nugent says, or Michael Wynn. I don't know how to pronounce that either way. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Says 10-team half PPR, half PPR, Rodgers, Eckler, Kelsey. You know what I want to no, we're gonna leave it as such. I was gonna move my chat, but it's okay. Half PPR, Rodgers, Eckler, Kelsey, CD, Deontay, Carson, Damian, Corey Davis, Sutton, Devonta Smith, Mike Williams, Gesicki, AJ Green. Any upgrades? Yes, running back desperately. With Carson out, that's been the talk of today's, pretty much entire stream. What are we doing with your boy Chris Carson? And I think that's where you need to improve, because if he's going to be out for an extended period of time, you got to go for another one. I would say you could potentially fill in that spot with a Josh Jacobs for relatively cheap, or you can try to, big boy spend and go get DeAndre Swift. Now or never. Dark says, do I trade Eckler and Amari for Najee and Diggs? 12-team, half PPR. Damn, that's a good question. I'm leaning towards yes. Because I think Diggs is that much better than Amari Cooper. And I think the difference between those two in comparison to Eckler and Najee is significant enough to make me lean in that direction. Do I start Boyd, Robinson, or Crowder at wide receiver? Boyd, Robinson, or Crowder? I am playing Boyd. Thank you. Oh, wait. Are you saying Robinson as in... Oh, at the flex? Is that James Robinson? Because if it's James Robinson, Dark, I'd play James Robinson. It's no question. But I'm assuming it's not. I'm assuming you're referring to Allen Robinson. Therefore, I would 100% go with Boyd. By the way, I'm looking up because my monitor's there. I got this first monitor. I can't even half pay attention to this. Regardless, for those of you guys who are trying to play rest of season best ball drafts, Underdog Fantasy right now, for those of you who are interested, link down in the description. I'm currently playing and drafting in the league. I have practically auto-drafted twice trying to answer questions above. But it's okay. It's the best ball. You never know what happens. I'm going to grab all the stud players that I could possibly grab, and we'll see what happens. I appreciate you guys being here. After this draft, it'll probably be 11 p.m. my time. Or you know what? Not even after this draft. When we get to 11 p.m. my time, I got to move. I got to get going because I got to prepare for tomorrow's stuff. Actually, you know what? We'll try to see how long this draft goes. If the draft can take us to like the later rounds, I'm willing to just showcase the whole thing. But again, I've been here for 2 hours now. Hopefully, I've answered a lot of your guys' questions. I know a lot of you are still in here. I appreciate you guys being here and supporting the channel. All right, a couple questions came in. Alex says, I plugged in Alex Collins over Miles Sanders and Javonte this week. Was that a total miss? I don't think that was a total miss. I would have suggested you do the exact same thing. So at this point, it is unfortunate that Russell Wilson went down and the entire effectiveness of the running game kind of disappeared because they had to come back for majority of that second half. It is unfortunate, but yeah, I would have done the exact same thing as you in that scenario. Matt Shaw says, thoughts on Jonathan Taylor rest of season with the offensive line injuries. Where do you have him relative to others rest of season? Is he available in this league? He's gone. Where do I have him relative to the other running backs rest of season? He's outside of the top 12 for me right now, mainly because the offense is not good. Whether it is offensive line issues or, the quarterback, it is a dumpster fire in a nutshell. What tight ends are available? I'm actually just curious. Mark Andrews. I think Mark Andrews could be a nice little snag here going the rest of the way. But again, I could also just wait on tight end and just start cooping up all these other players. Who's available here? Michael Thomas, Tyler Boyd, Marvin Jones, Corey Davis is a stud. I love it. What did you take? You took Marquise Brown right in front of me. How dare you? Montgomery, Jacobs, Sanders. No. I don't really like. I mean, honestly, I do not mind Josh Jacobs, but I think I can get him on the return here. So I'm looking for wide receiver specifically. I got 9 seconds to do so as well. I'm thinking I'm just going to buy in on the guy that I like the most, and that honestly is Corey Davis at this point. I'll wait for Mr. Josh Jacobs to come back to me. Let's see here. Corey Davis or Crowder in the flex? I play Corey Davis. Trade away CeeDee Lamb for Godwin. I have DJ Moore and AJ Brown. I absolutely love your videos, brother. Thank you very much, Jackson Simon. I appreciate that. I really do, actually. As for the trade, I don't mind it. I think they're relatively close in terms of value. If anything, Chris Godwin's better rest of season because of what we've seen from Tom Brady so far. Dak's been great, but yeah, it just hasn't been as consistent as we would have potentially thought it was going to be in terms of spreading it out to receivers. But hopefully that kind of evens itself out. But with that said, yeah, I don't mind that. All right, here, it's coming back to me. Do I want a tight end? Do I want to bite the bullet here, or do I want to wait and just go for like Schultz later? I think I'm just going to wait and go with Schultz. I'm going to go with what's going on with this? What's the little thing about Bob here? Returns to full practice. Of course he does. We're good with it. I'll take him. I just want my points. What do we have here? Was trading Kupp and CEH for Cook a steal? It depends. Do you have Alexander Madison? Follow-up question. Do you have good running back depth? Follow-up question. Do you have good wide receiver depth? Because if all of the answers to those three questions are yes, then yeah, it's a great deal. Should I trade Chris Godwin and Hubbard for DeAndre Hopkins? Yes. Right now. Do it all. Who asked that question, by the way? Mitchell Hopkins? I would do that, yes. I would trade both those pieces for D-Hop right now. Thank you. Because of the other person is considering the trade offer of Hunt and Patterson for King Henry and Kittle, LOL, should I make that offer? Yes, do it. Yes. Give Hunt and Patterson and get back Henry and Kittle. Dude, I would literally cry if that happened in one of my big money leagues. I would legitimately cry. That is so much potential upside. Holy moly. Yes, do it. Where am I next? Where's my 7th pick? 7th round pick. Where art thou? Here we are. Oh, yeah, here we go. 7 and 11. I probably have to look towards quarterback now. But honestly, is Jalen Hurts here? Because if Jalen Hurts is here, I'm just going to roll with him later in this game. He's just been far too good this season. I need wide receiver depth as well, a lot of it too. So I'm going to look for guys that have overall upside rest of season. I know somebody took Michael Thomas here, which was unfortunate because I wanted to wait for it. Yo, Williams, Edmonds, and Andrews for Cook and Andrews? What? Williams? I don't even know which Williams you're talking about, Dara. Message is retracted. Wait, did you delete your own message? No. Resend it, but like fix it. Like give me the full names, Dara. Yo, non-PPR, OBJ Perine or Cole Beasley? OBJ, I guess. I mean, I guess it's tough, dude. Thanks for answers. No problem, Matt. I appreciate you donating again. Non-fantasy Lions fan. Haha. Any thoughts on their coaching this year? Appreciate the response. Logical view. Love it. Okay, to be honest, MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell, I actually like him. In all honesty, I think that team is on the right path. Are they close to getting to a winning record? Absolutely not, because they have a lot of issues with defense. And in order to win games, you got to have a defense that's not going to leave your offense, hanging out to dry. Jeff Okudah, obviously going down with an injury. The Achilles is going to be a problem for the future. But he's young. Maybe he can come back and be okay. But he obviously hasn't panned out in his first 2 seasons. With that said, I legitimately do think that they're building something good there. I know Frank Ragnow, their center, is down with an injury. It's definitely going to impact the running game going forward. But with that said, they definitely hit with the left tackle first-round pick. I think they definitely have a lot built, but they just need a lot of pieces. Like across the board. They need wide receiver help, and they need a whole new defense. Legitimately a whole new defense. And as much as that may be something that is going to take 10 years to build, Dan Campbell may not be there to see, what this team becomes in the future, but he definitely did a good job drafting some good players here in year 1 for his team. Let's see here. Hi, should I try Kamara and Thielen for Najee and Terry? If you are out on Kamara and you don't want anything to do with him, and you're not even worried that even if he does anything, you just want him off your hands, then sure, I don't mind that. You can go for Najee and Terry McLaurin. But, Kamara is Kamara for a reason. And I would be sad to see him go, especially off my lineup if I've got some studs there. Jalen Hurts got taken. Dang it, I gotta look for another quarterback. Who am I looking for? I know what I'm trying to go for here. I just got to be silent about it because Mr. Z-Lugs right here is going to snag it in front of me, and I don't like that. I don't like that, Z-Lugs. It's not nice. I know you're listening to me. But I appreciate it either way. Trade away Thielen for Julio? No. Keep Thielen 100% of the time. We don't need Julio. T. Higgins or Zach Moss for flex? T. Higgins or Zach Moss? T. Higgins, 100%. It's not going to be as at. Am I almost on the clock here? Ooh, my Prescott got picked off the board, dude. No. All right. Can I recoup here on some value at quarterback? No. Dang it. All right. Well, quarterback's a sham. We're in trouble here. We're looking at wide receiver, maybe tight end. Is there any tight ends left? Noah Fant, Tyler Higbee. Not too interested in these gentlemen, are I? Okay, not good. All right, well, we're going to go wide receiver here. Obviously, more depth. Maybe a guy like Jacoby Myers here. Maybe the play. Tony Pollard, huh? Really? In a best ball. Yeah, I guess it's a... Oh, Z-Lugs he fell for it. Give me Brady. 100%. I don't know if I just duped him there and I kind of juked him out, but I was throwing it out in the universe that Z-Lugs would potentially bite on it. Sorry. I'm almost up next, but Ro, I just saw your donation. I appreciate it. I'm about to answer that in a second here. My next pick is almost up, so I am on the clock. Noah Fant. I think I need to also go for... Let me look at running back. I've stacked myself with a running back. I think wide receiver is my biggest problem. David Montgomery, can I wait for that? I guess technically this team can, but I don't want to. Wide receiver, I think Waddle could be it, but you know what? I'm feeling the energy here. I'm feeling the Jacoby Myers upside going forward. Let's see. Aha, you went with Aaron Rodgers. Z-Lugs, I got you, my guy. I got you. You see, this is how I gotta play it. How's my wide receiver depth? Says Derek. Derek, what's your wide receivers look like, my guy? Dara says, my bad. It was Andrews, Edmonds, and Mike Williams for Dalvin and Goddard. Mark Andrews, Edmonds, and Mike Williams for Dalvin. Only if you have Madison, because I don't want to trade for Dalvin Cook if I don't have Madison. Ro, thank you for the donation. Says, hey man, love your stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Says, trying to learn from my plays. I started Collins today over Damian Williams or Moss. Would you have made that move? Why or why not? I certainly wouldn't have. As of right now, let me look at my Patreon rankings. I have Damian Williams ahead of both Zach Moss and Alex Collins because I do believe that Damian Williams is in a better matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders run stop, who gave up 111 rushing yards to Eckler. And on top of that, he is going to get more PPR work than both of the other running backs probably combined. Earlier this season, we go back to week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams. We saw a lot of work in the passing game for Damian Williams. And also, he's not that bad of a running back. I personally would have went with him. That being said, in terms of learning from the mistake, I don't think that playing Alex Collins is the worst idea today. It's just a matter of, like, when we look at the backs as a whole, I think to myself, do I want to play the running back that's on a short week against the Rams? Probably not. I know the Rams got torched on the ground on Sunday against Arizona, but short week playing, especially when running the ball, it is tough on their bodies, especially offensive line. So I typically try to take it easy there, unless it's an extremely good matchup. But yeah, Damian Williams would have been the play there. Also because it's a rookie quarterback. Man, they have to run the ball in order for Fields to find success. And that's what I was potentially kind of trying to key in on with going with Williams there, in which I probably will rest of these upcoming weeks. Matt Slaw sent into another donation. Thank you. Matt Shaw, says, last one from me. Best sleepers rest of season. Agree with your view on the Lions. Hope those picks that they have, they got from Stafford amount to something. Yeah, hopefully their GM's ready to go. As for sleepers rest of season, Michael Thomas, go buy him now. Immediately do it. Another sleeper. Rest of season sleepers. Let me think about this. I think there's no such thing as a real sleeper anymore. I think sleepers are often going to be created by injuries rest of season. I don't think anybody's going to come out of the woodwork just off of random opportunity. It's not going to happen. It is a matter of injuries that create potential and opportunity in that circumstance. So with that being said, who is a sleeper rest of season? My goodness. Sleeper. That's just such a loaded, there's no such thing. I'm going to try my best here. Let me think here. Who's a sleeper option rest of season, like running back? I would say it's Javonte Williams. I mean, he's not technically a sleeper, but he hasn't done anything, so he's still sleeping. He's a sleeping giant, though, if he can get that backfield all to himself. Melvin Gordon's hurt. As for wide receiver, I mean, who's a sleeping giant there? I got to think about that. Let me marinate on that. Cowboy Panda sent in a question. Says 10-team PPR. Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor rest of the season. I'm leaning towards Jonathan Taylor. Thank you. I appreciate that. To give you some context as to why, I still think that even with the injuries, Jonathan Taylor has the better overall scheme created for running backs. I know the opportunity is going to be very similar in terms of total touches, but Mixon hasn't gotten the PPR work that kind of defines him as a guy that we can trust as a 3-down back for the PPR upside. So I'm looking at the offenses and I'm thinking who's probably going to have the most success running after, Quentin Nelson comes back, after we see some healthier offensive lineman return. I'm leaning towards Jonathan Taylor in that extent. Devin sends in a question, says, should I trade Mixon and Edmonds for Kamara? If you are in need, okay, look, at this moment in time, you have to have a very solid RB2 to be giving those two guys for Kamara. Because I think once the bye weeks start to come on, and if you don't have enough running backs to give yourself a chance to win in these upcoming weeks, you could end up losing a couple that you shouldn't. And I think that Kamara, as of right now, is in a situation where I don't know if I'm willing to trust him without the PPR work there. And I don't know if I want to give away 2 running backs for that when it's so hard to come by great running backs on top of it. What are we looking for here? That's not bad. Is there any good running backs left? Mike Davis, Gaskin. Nope. Michael Carter, but that's later on in the draft. Latavius Murray could be decent rest of season, but in comparison to the gentleman that I have on rosters, probably not going to be good. Damian Williams is not a bad pick there by this gentleman. Melvin Gordon, Elijah Mitchell, I don't really mess with there. Dalton Schultz, he took the guy I wanted. Damn it, dude. I'm in shambles. Pain. Do these guys have tight ends? One tight end, and that's me. So I don't have to pick a tight end right now. I'm going to let it come back to me. Instead, I will go wide receiver here. Specifically, who? I'm going to go with... Give me Sterling Shepard rest season. All right, where are we at again? Hook. My God, it was auto picks? Whatever. Auto picks it was. I'm buying in on Dawson Knox. We'll see how this pans out for me. Let's see here. Hook V. I mean, listen, Hook V, you've been around here for a while. Like, okay. The name, I've seen a million names, but the icon, the logo, I see it and I know because you've been here literally as like one of the first, I mean, maybe year 2, maybe late year 1. You've been around for a while, Hook. You said, my man, I need you full PPR. Would you trade away Fournette and Evans for Taylor? Okay. Or Gibson and Evans away for Mixon. I'll take the first trade. I would give away Evans and Fournette for Taylor. That's what I would do. And if you're very deep at wide receiver depth, giving away Evans shouldn't be a problem, and it's just a Fournette for a Taylor switch. I'll take that. No problem. Let's see here. Devin Collier says, I have Saquon and Zeke and Kamara would flex. In that case, Devin, accept the trade. We'll take that. In that case, yeah, if you've got the ultimate, power squad, just power creep and just keep gaining power, just keep pushing for the moon. Keep pushing. I'll take it. Who else am I going for here? Is it a good idea to go for a second quarterback? I think it might be. Maybe go for a little bit of Trey. Ooh, okay. Don't do it. You know who I'm talking to you. You're listening to me. Don't do it. Don't do it to me. Don't take that guy. George, thank you very much for the donation. Says Fournette, Damian Williams, Hollywood, pick 2. As of this week, I will play Fournette and I will play Hollywood Brown. RM with a very generous donation. Thank you very much. Says I'm in a 16-team half PPR league. My goodness. I just lost Logan Thomas. Not a big deal. We can recover. Should I trade Ruggs for Schultz? Yes, I would do that immediately. My wide receiver depth is Keenan Allen, Justin Jefferson, Cordero Patterson, running back / wide receiver, and Tyler Boyd. I have Dak as my quarterback. I'm in a tough league. I honestly think that trading away Henry Ruggs for Dalton Schultz is the best way to get out of this scenario. You have great wide receiver depth. I would 100% do that immediately if you can. Congratulations on such a great team in a very deep league. Thank you again for the big donation. Matt Shaw says, I should have said buy low rather than sleepers. Yeah, that probably would have been a better descriptor for the kind of players you're looking for. I can give you some ideas. Running backs, buy low. Jacobs, if you can. I'm not kidding, guys. Jacobs, like Peyton Barber's practically irrelevant. Kenyon Drake has been phased out of this offense. I'll take him. As for other guys that I'm willing to potentially buy low on, I don't mind buying extremely low on Damian Harris. Harris has had back-to-back games in which he's had like negative rushing yards because the matchups have been horrendous and the game scripts haven't been great. With that said, he's got 2 out of the next 3 games against Houston and the New York Jets. He could probably put together good performances and then you can ship him again. It's like a buy to just trade in the future kind of deal, Hopefully that makes sense. Regardless, moving on. In terms of the wide receiver position, buy low candidates. CeeDee Lamb, Calvin Ridley, give it to me all day. Thank you very much. All right, let's see here. We got a couple good running backs left. When I say couple, I mean like guys that maybe might have upside, but I need wide receiver. I mean, I think I might need to go for a second quarterback in case I get a couple bad weeks here. Kirk Cousins got taken. Yeah, he did. That's unfortunate. My next pick is where here? Let me see. My next pick is here. Yeah, it wasn't coming back to me. I knew Kirk Cousins wasn't likely to come back. And now that I look at the rest of these quarterbacks, I think to myself, and I'm in a very bad situation. But at least I got Brady to kind of fill in for that 1 QB slot. Not a big deal. Anyway, let me come back here. Braden Hanna, my apologies, says, second question of the night. Thank you so much for the advice. Half PPR flex Chase Edmonds, Corey Davis, Josh Jacobs. For this week, I'm going to probably roll with Chase Edmonds there against the San Francisco 49ers. It's between him and Corey Davis. I do like Josh Jacobs against the Chicago Bears, but I'm not too keen on playing that matchup. I think it's between him and Davis. I'd go with Edmonds this week. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Braden. Woods on my bench squad. Yep. Join the club, JP. I had a couple. Well, I had one league where I had him on the bench, and then 2 where I started him. But the league that I needed him the most to play in, because I'm a little bit behind in that league due to injuries, because Dalvin Cook has been messing with me. I needed that, and it is what it is. We're gonna have to figure it out. Rashad Bateman, Trey Lance, Jared Cook, Alexander Madison. Interesting picks here. Let's see here. I was offered Devin Singletary and Tyreek Hill for Najee Harris and Allen Robinson. 1 point PPR, should I take it? If you do have technically good running backs and Najee Harris missing isn't going to kill you, I don't mind it, because I think Tyreek Hill is better than Najee Harris to an extent. But if you don't, which is going to be very unlikely that you do, you have to keep Najee Harris, because the guy is like 20 points per week with the amount of receptions he's getting. Damn it, you took Tannehill right in front of me. Zulugs, I absolutely cannot stand you right now. You are ruining my night. You're listening to what? Okay, anyway. Regardless, let me go ahead and let me see what I can do with wide receiver here, because you know that I'm looking, maybe a little bit of running back help here. Wouldn't hurt me too much here in this scenario. Is Michael Carter? Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that either. Am I running out of time? I ran out of time. I can see it right here. It picked me Naeem. I'm not prepared for this, guys. I'm literally okay, whatever. I'm just going to look at the questions. I'm going to let these guys out. I'm just in shambles. Why did of all the running backs, I would have rather had McKissick, actually. Just give me a quarterback and let me get out of this section here. Who do I want rest of season out of these guys? That's a good question. Am I on the clock? I am. I would have rather had Daniel Jones, but in all honesty, I think I'm going with Trevor Lawrence here. I think he'll be better rest of the season. All right, let me see here. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Just to try to juke out. I'm gonna try to juke you out. Don't be afraid. The ball's coming. Don't be afraid. All right, I'm going to juke him out. All right, cool. So let's see here. Anyway, just to kind of give you guys an idea, I was drafting on Underdog Fantasy, their best ball leagues, weeks 6 through 17. You draft 18 rounds. Whoever scores the most points by the end of the year wins the pot. It's $10 up front, and then you just pretty much winner takes all at the end. You don't even have to set your lineups. It sets it based on whoever scores the most. It's just a matter of, can you construct the best overall roster? Again, if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, pick'ems. You know what? I want to actually just show you guys the pick'ems real quick. While we're on the subject, I will get back to the questions that were sent in. It is 11 p.m. my time, and I was talking about potentially getting off at that time. That's why I'm kind of transitioning to here. But I want to just go check something out, kind of show you guys, just so we're on the same page. Just so we're here, let me go ahead. Let me go to this page. We're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow, just to kind of give you some context. I got to get myself out of the screen. Here we go. Let's move myself here. Boom. Just to give you some context, these are the pick'ems, right? Like, for example, if you believe Mike Davis is going over 44.5 rushing yards, if he can get 45 rushing yards tomorrow, boom. If Corey Davis is going to go over 60 receiving yards, great, perfect. If we can see, Brandon Cooks getting the ball 5 receptions, all you have to do is come in here, you get yourself $100 and make 600. I know $100 is a lot. Let's say you just put $5 in here. You can make it into 30. But you just got to find a couple things that you like. And this is the kind of stuff that's on Underdog Fantasy. You can also draft one-on-one against other people for a given week. Anyway, all that kind of stuff. Promo code Andrew down in the description. I just wanted to go ahead and continue to shout that out, because it does help support me a lot. For those of you guys who are interested, I do appreciate it. Now, a couple more people that are supporting via the chat. We saw some questions come in. Specifically, Brandon Bellinger says, do I bench Dalvin Cook for Gibson? I'm worried about the ankle. I think you have to, because he's most likely not going to play this week. So yes. Noel says, someone offering up Waller, also tips to improve. Okay. 10-team PPR Superflex, love it. Record is 1-3, don't love that, but it's okay. We can go ahead and recover. My team is Dak Darnold, okay, great quarterbacks. Heineke, okay, even getting better. Saquon, James Robinson, Pollard, okay, your 2 starting running backs and your 2 starting wide quarterbacks are great already. Hill, Godwin, Davis, Crowder, Schultz, Knox. How are we losing games? You know what? Hopefully, Noel, that the rest of this season, you're going to prosper. Because, I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking to myself, how are we going to lose? Now, someone offering up Waller also, okay, so what do you mean offering up Waller? Someone wants to give you Waller? Okay, give him, one of your tight ends in exchange, and then go ahead and, give him Corey Davis and say if he takes it. My goodness, my neck broke. And see if he takes that. If he doesn't, then you're okay with sitting with what you have because you need the depth the rest of the season because of bye weeks. Is it safe to start Christian McCaffrey this week? All right, just to give you guys all context again, for those of you who are just hopping into the channel, I'm going to be leaving in a couple minutes, so just putting that in perspective really quickly. Let me just do this real quick. So, just to give you some perspective, let me go ahead, come back here. I do not expect Dalvin Cook to play. He missed Wednesday and Thursday's practice. He probably won't play. Alexander Madison is my number 9 running back in a half and a full PPR scoring format. If you have Madison, you're playing him this week. We're going to wait and see if, of course, Dalvin Cook practices tomorrow, but he's likely not going to. Christian McCaffrey, he is probably going to play. But if he ends up coming out that he's not going to play and it's going to be Chuba Hubbard, don't be surprised because last season they did the same thing. Matt Rule is very patient with his running backs and getting them back healthy. He is not going to force Christian McCaffrey out there. He is not going to allow Christian McCaffrey to dictate the future of this team in terms of his health and forcing him back from an injury. They are a 3-1 football team. They need the longevity of McCaffrey for their success. They're not going to push him back this week. So if he doesn't play, don't be surprised because they didn't do that last year. They didn't push him back quickly. If in fact he does play, he's my number 2 running back on the week. I'm firing him up. Let's hear. Adam said, I listened the whole time and my question was ignored the whole time. Sad day. Adam, you could have just typed your message right there and I would have saw it. But hey, listen, type it in. You got to take it from my perspective, Adam. There's literally 300, 400, 500 of you in here and there's a boatload of messages. If I don't see it, my apologies. I understand how it feels. I'll certainly try to answer your question. Just send it in right now and I'll definitely be able to answer it. Mark says 12 team. Okay, let's see here. Kamara, Metcalf, I'm 1 and 3. Help, please. I don't know how I can help your team. Like you have a baller team there, Mark. Kyler, Kamara, Henderson, Metcalf, McLaurin, Hawkinson, Williams. Like that's a baller team. How are you 1 and 3? That's a baller team. Actually, I'm not even capping. Trey Lance or Derek Carr this week? I have Derek Carr slightly higher. Okay. Mark Davey. Okay, we did that. We did that. Just traded Keenan Allen for D-Hop. How do you feel about that? I like that. All right, let's see here. Waller or DJ Moore in the flex? Thank you. I'd play DJ Moore this week, Adam. Okay. Spencer. Listen, we don't need passive-aggressive comments, guys. Like, come on, man. Show some class. Like, I get it. You want your question answered, but there's one of me and there's hundreds of you. Like, honestly, I'm trying my best. I legitimately am. I am. But, the passive-aggressiveness isn't going to help you in this world. I can assure you that. Sell Woods high. I mean, it depends what you can get, Jonah. It really does. Keep or sell Woods? If that's the question that we're being asked at this moment, I'm willing to sell him. Legitimately, I am. Is he going to play well rest of the season? He should. But, this kind of performance isn't going to be something that we see every week. Strength of schedule makes a difference. Sure it does. I agree. That's why strength of schedule video is coming out in the coming weeks. What happened to Carr this week on the quarterbacks list? Did I miss something? No. I have him at my number 18 quarterback. You didn't miss anything. I just think that overall, Jacobs being back into the lineup potentially, has the possibility of him missing touchdowns instead of passing the entire game like he has when Jacobs was injured, right? They may go back to, running the ball pretty safely. Okay. Madison or Hunt? I'd play Madison if Cook is out. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming. I know listen, this is the second time this week I've already done a live stream. I will probably do one on Sunday morning before kickoff. I'll have my updated rankings there so you can visually see it on screen and hopefully get it all done. Hey, Andrew, first stream I've been in. Keenan Allen or A.J. Brown this week. A.J. Brown. Keenan Allen, because I don't want A.J. Brown leaving with an injury. I'd rather just get the guaranteed points. Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming. Updated rankings will be there Sunday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Your questions will potentially be answered on a per player basis. If you want extra ranking stuff like that, Patreon in the description. I appreciate it. Braun, a lot of hearts and a couple broken hearts. Either way, been here for a little while. I got to go work on stuff for tomorrow in their videos. I appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you. If I wasn't able to answer your question, my apologies. Again, there's a lot of you, only one of me. I try my best. But again, if you want all of your 2021 fantasy football questions answered, you can go to the Discord server. It's also down in the description. There's a lot of people there in the community that are willing to help. And also on top of that, there's a Patreon there if those of you are interested in supporting outside to get my weekly rankings. So you don't have to ask questions, so you can get the rankings and you have them like that. Anyway, thank you. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace.